Welcome back to episode 28. And let me tell you, Hudson's kind of snapping lately. Okay, this story's getting crazy. I mean, it's got turns, twists, turns, everything in between, all the good stuff. And I know y'all are trying to get into it because we keep leaving on some really good cliffhangers. So I'm going to let y'all get in. All I ask is a quick sub. A quick sub for the boys, for the gals, for the peeps. You know how it is. And if you got a question, comment down below. You know how it goes. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Peace out.
A recap of last time. If someone
The
would
good
like
old. You want to go for it?
Oh,
Easy toe, or is this on me?
Where did we start? We went. I'll try to practice mic discipline.
We started talking to Kenjiro and Isato.
We started talking to Kenjiro and Isato. It was after the war. We decided to delay. We got sent on a mission to the land of Mist.
Yeah.
And we're at the main island right now. We went in boat. They couldn't take us like really deep in there because they didn't want international relationships to go awry, especially with the war everywhere. We got introduced to the two factions fighting for power, the Futon and the Shark people that I know the name of. I just like to call them Shark people.
Hoshigaki, I think.
Hoshigaki. And me and Suiko and I went to the Hoshigaki faction, and then Arata and Than went to the Futon. To sum up those interactions, the Futon are like the more finesse, little more, a little more je ne sais quoi to them. A little more classy, little uptight, little slithery, little snaky. And the other ones seemed like the very, this is how it is, and I am a strong, red-blooded red mister. And I met Matafusa. We had a little talk there. Then we went to explore the big issue, which was the Mizukage was severely hurt, because I think he's alive right now, or severely ill, and that's why they're fighting. Just to start it off.
They claim he's
Dang,
alive.
a lot happened last session.
A lot did happen.
Yeah, so then we talked to them, and they basically told us more or less kind of like the story of what happened. Kind of, but nobody really was there, so they don't really know anything. This is kind of like their assumptions, I guess. They know about the Songbird people, but they're pointing fingers at each other, Spider-Man meme style. And yeah, we went to the Mizukage's place. We saw claw marks.
Well, here, we don't have to go over all the details because I want you guys to actually go over them together to see if you learned anything.
Thank God, dude. There was still a lot. I didn't realize how much we did last session.
We accomplished a lot.
Yeah.
You guys investigated the manor, suffice to say, and you left fleeing to avoid these ghost-like apparitions that appeared all around you. So that's where we'll begin. I wanted to ask you guys, where would you like to head after this?
Ooh, good question.
You have options. You can go to like either of the places, or you can try to go to a one of the other landmarks of their village there.
Yeah. Do we happen to know right now? And if not, I suppose we could find someone and ask. But do we happen to know of any, like, kind of elders that are like that talk of ghosts, or like a temple, or like some kind of, maybe religious is the wrong word, but like, do you understand what I'm asking? Like some kind of.
Yeah. You can make let Izuto make a history check because he studied up on the land of Mist before this.
He did do that.
I'm a smart little boy. Well, we'll see how smart. Give me a second. I'm a decently smart.
Relatively smart. Yeah, so in terms of speaking with elders and stuff like that, you want to go to the Seashell Council, which is sort of their main council room. It's where the water spirit supposedly dwells.
Okay.
So if you wanted to talk to people in authority, that's where you would go.
I think that's where I would like to go. I don't know about the others.
Another option, since you got a 21, is there is the Mist Temple relatively close by to you guys as well. That's where religious figures at least normally would be as well.
Do we want to split our chances again?
I mean,
Yeah.
they're both relatively close. Like you don't really need to
Oh,
split
okay.
up.
We could all go. Okay.
We can check both of them out.
It's all within the same village. So.
I guess this is all on an island, so it's not like the desert place where it's miles apart.
So where would you guys like to go?
I suppose the council first.
Yeah.
Council it is. As you guys go, you may want to discuss what you found. All the clues and see if you can come up with any theories and what additional information you might try to look for moving forward.
Yeah, so info, at least what I have written down, and y'all can tell me if y'all have some other stuff. For the main clues, the dead bodies that we found had some claw marks looking a little bestial. I found the ratweed, and we know that the food was poisoned. Past that and all the ghosts and stuff, I don't know. I mean, there was the trapdoor, but I think those are kind of our three main hints as to something happening.
Yeah, so we had the knife. We also had the 4 pairs of shoes.
The ritual knife, that's true.
And then we know that their sizes, more or less. The size that we're probably looking for is between a 170 and 180 character.
Because that was the unaccounted for.
The unaccounted for person.
What does the ratweed do over time again?
It
It
doesn't.
gives you symptoms as if you were
poison?
bald.
Yeah, it kind of just makes
As if
you
were
not.
bald.
It just
Wow, as if you were
just
or
makes you not feel good. But it doesn't. It's not lethal. It's not anything like that. But am I correct in that, Hudson? It's like.
Sorry, repeat that.
For ratweed, it's like it's not lethal or anything, but like kind of makes you lose hair, makes you cough, kind of makes you just overall not good.
It's considered a minor poison. It also reduces your dexterity and wisdom.
Okay. So the ratweed definitely was not to like intent to kill. I mean, it could be assisting a kill, but it was not a deadly poison.
And then that was not in the Mizukage's food bowl, right?
It was in the person at the bottom, which...
And didn't we conclude that the Mizukage was on the opposite
Mizukage was at the top
chair.
where the trapdoor was, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so he wasn't the one getting rat-weeded, right?
No, he was not. I mean, not to our assumption right
Not
now.
to our assumption.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't detect any ratweed inside of his bowl.
Yeah. And then, sitting-wise, you know, he was at top. Was his... it's an adopted daughter, correct? If I remember right?
Correct.
She was sitting on the right side?
Yes.
You don't know that.
Well, we know because of the weight.
The sizes,
can
yeah, the weight of the
estimate.
pillows.
Top is 120 to 130, so maybe that the adopted. Where was the rat? Rat was at bottom.
Yes, ratweed was at bottom.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember the sizes, how they are. The weight.
Top was the 120 to 130. Right was the 170 to 180. Bottom was the 140 to 150.
And we think the kid weighed 140 to 150, right? Or the adopted daughter.
I think so. I think we thought the old man was very. We saw a picture of him and we thought he looked very light.
Yeah, you established that the old guy's weight was probably
The 120.
or to the guy, yeah, whoever was
And
sitting
did
on
we?
top.
I was gonna say, did we know? Are we just guessing who the other two people were? Like we didn't get any confirmation on that. We just know the last time that people were there, it was the adopted daughter and someone.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys know anything
About that, okay.
necessarily about the other people. Making assumptions as far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think info-wise, and when it comes to like coming up with a story, I really don't know because it's a lot of like very sporadic evidence and things. I mean, my assumption is whoever was on the bottom was being poisoned with the intent of being used in a ritual. That is where I'm sitting right now.
The coffin thing too, right? That we found in the shed.
Yeah,
The
he had said that wasn't used for like a really long time, and that was more of like a fail-safe kind of looking thing. So I don't know how important that one is, but yeah, I mean, any other theories? That's about all I got.
There were some things that Suiko discovered.
The dagger. Right.
Yeah, there were other things too.
The claw marks.
Yep.
Yes,
there were other
things too. Suiko. Indubitably, yes. Indeed.
I mean, I kind of glossed over it here. I'll throw you a bone because I did kind of gloss over it. It was related to the pond. That's
the water level was lower than
right.
than what you'd assumed it would be.
Yeah, the edges of the banks, basically, there were spots where, like, for a couple feet, it was much lower than it should have been.
Which
one? Yeah.
We didn't have time to examine the pond because a ghost popped up.
Correct.
What could that mean?
The trap door.
A water
we
vendor.
couldn't, right?
The trap door. I ended up crawling under the house, right? And like.
Yeah, you established it only opens from above, so you couldn't open it from below.
Yeah.
It's an escape door, basically.
Yeah. Did the trap door go into water, or was the water only on like the outsides of the?
No, underneath the house is just sort of like
Solid.
a muddy thing. It's on stilts.
Okay.
So there's just like a area where you can sort of crawl beneath it.
I don't know what water being low would entail.
In any case, those, I think you established all the clues that you found so far.
We will keep that noted.
So yeah, just something to keep in the back of your mind. You guys arrive, in any case, at the Seashell Council, where you find a large number of various Jonin sort of gathered around this large crystal, like fountain-like thing, but no water is pouring from it. Below, however, there's a massive pool with like waterfalls feeding into it. The architecture here looks not very like anything that you've seen before. You get the sense that this temple, it wasn't built by the village hidden in the mist. It was discovered and renovated by them.
Does this pool look refreshing?
Yeah, it looks beautiful. It's crystal clear. It sort of sparkles a little bit. The light catches it just right.
I won't take a dip yet. We'll wait.
All right.
Yeah, I suppose, are we just stomping forward and seeing who we find here?
Yeah. Also, insane that in an island where it never stops raining, you're like, you know what I would like to do right now? Swim. Just go outside, bro.
Listen, sorry you're anti-water. Okay.
As you approach, a sort of middle-aged woman with long blonde hair, she sort of puts up a hand and stops you guys. She says, you're the team from the village hidden in the why am I blanking
Leaves?
on the name? Yeah. I was gonna say forest. I was like, that's not right.
Close enough.
Same.
She says, she gives you a little bow. She says, I am Sheena, aide to the Hokage. I gave permission for you three to investigate the estate. I'm glad you came here. I suppose you are being pressured by both the clans to side with them at this point.
For sure.
I would be very pleased to hear what conclusions you came to. I'd also be willing to give you my own testimony of what happened that day.
I would absolutely love to hear that, because we found some stuff, but we're currently still trying to fill in some missing holes.
She nods and says, maybe I can help. Unfortunately, the information I have doesn't particularly point to any particular culprit, but I'll tell you what I know. On the day of, there was a knock at our door. It was very deliberate, in a particular pattern. I believe it was meant to be some sort of signal. The Mizukage and I were preparing food in the kitchen. The Mizukage sent me out, told me to wait by the pond. I did not see whoever entered at that point. However, you may have found my shoes at the entranceway, as I never had a chance to collect them.
Which one were they, any chance?
She like looks down. She raises up a foot, and it's a high platform geta or gita.
The wooden gita.
Yeah.
But it was the high platform ones, not the new ones, right?
Yeah, she's wearing high platform ones. She says they would have looked something like this. I had to get a new pair. In any case, after some time, probably about 5 or 6 minutes, a shadow and fog swarmed into the compound. I saw the Mizukage crawl out from beneath the house and jump into the pond. I asked him what he was doing, but he popped back out with a scroll, and then he used it and vanished in a puff of smoke. I believe it was a reverse summoning scroll. At that point, some of the Anbu came in, and I saw a creature in the shadow and screams. It was large, whatever it was. By the time I got to the Anbu, they were already dead. At that point, I tried tracking down the creature, but it escaped to the north of the compound and lost me inside of the streets of the city. I returned to the compound and set up the Anbu all around, preventing anyone from entering or leaving. From that point forward, as far as I know, no one except for you has entered or left the compound. I went to the council to inform the clans, and they were just waiting for a moment of weakness. Hearing that the Mizukage was gone, they blamed each other for the attempted assassination, as they put it. And, well, you see the current situation right now.
All fair. Okay. Let me ask. So you were having dinner with the Mizukage that night?
We were preparing dinner.
Preparing dinner. Okay.
It was obvious to me that we were having guests since we were preparing more than usual. But he sent me away before, obviously, the dinner began.
Okay, so you don't know who those guests were?
She shakes her head.
Right. Would you happen to know, like, when it comes to the dinner table, is there like a typical seating arrangement that they follow? Like, does the Mizukage sit somewhere? If his daughter was with him, does she sit somewhere?
She nods and says, yes, there is a typical arrangement. The Mizukage is a very traditional man, and he's used to things in a certain way. That's why he insists on everyone taking their shoes off at the front door and so on.
Of course.
He would have sat at the head of the table, which is the place furthest from the door.
Mm-hmm.
So the northernmost seat.
Gotcha.
I would normally be seated at his right hand, as I am his primary aide and confidant. As far as other guests go, if they were considered to be an honored ally or a friend, then they would be seated at his left hand. And if they were seated opposite, then they would likely be a guest.
Okay.
Or someone that he didn't know as well.
1 second.
So, okay.
You can ask questions. Go for it.
No, I was just making sure I'm writing this down. So top is usually him, right?
Top is him. If you're looking at the table from our point of view, I believe the way she was wording this, left side would have been Sheena because she sits at his right.
Left side would have been her, which is why nobody was there.
And then a honored ally or friend more than likely would have been to the right or his left, and then the unknown or more than likely a guest would be across from him.
Yep.
Okay, important. Cool. All right. I kind of look at her and nod, taking it all in, knowing that this actually is pretty valuable information. So as for like the Mizukage, was there any meeting scheduled before or after this point? Like, I know you don't know exactly who the guest was, but was anything important scheduled leading up to this that he would be meeting someone?
Like I said, no. I am in charge of his schedule, and he mentioned nothing of this. He just had me prepare the meal with him, and then sent me away.
Gotcha.
There was nothing, and there was no particular. It wasn't like a special day or anything like that. As far as I know, it was just a normal day.
Okay. And do you know if his daughter was at the house at the time?
The Mizukage has no daughter.
Or the adopted daughter?
I am the Mizukage's adopted daughter.
I didn't know that was her. Okay. I see now.
I was kind of thinking about it, and I was like, maybe it's not.
Gotcha. Well, okay. Well, thank you, Sheena. Gotcha. Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
well, whenever you were... Go ahead. Go for it.
Mizukage said nothing to you when he leaped into the pond and you were waiting there?
Like I said, I tried to get his attention, but he did not speak to me. To be fair, he didn't have much of a chance. He plunged straight into the pond, and as soon as he came out, he used the scroll.
Okay.
And this thing that you saw, or at least we're trying to track down, did you see any kind of, like, shape to it? Was it a person? Was it a beast?
It was tall, so it would surprise me if it was a beast. It seems at least somewhat humanoid in nature. Not on all fours, but I don't know. Like I said, it was difficult to see.
Okay.
Clearly some sort of jutsu was used to create the fog.
Okay, gotcha. Alright, it's pretty tall. Okay. Excuse me. Yeah, besides that, did you happen to notice anything weird, around the, around the kind of house, whether it be any markings, and I know you were out, running around very rapid, so you probably wouldn't have noticed anything specific, but any form of markings, anything weird with the pond after he summoned or when he jumped out of it or anything like that?
No, the pond was normal. That's where I was waiting for him. Nothing happened to it while I was there.
Okay.
As far as markings go, yes, I was able to track this beast into the street a little bit, and I saw what appeared to be like some sort of claws or something created by a slashing implement.
Okay.
But at that point, it was stone, not mud, so it was difficult to determine exactly what it was.
Gotcha. Oh. I kind of turn around to the other two and kind of go, hey, team huddle real quick. And I look at Sheena. I'm like, hey, thanks. Give us 1 second. We just got to figure some stuff out.
Certainly, I have a proposal for you once you've discussed things amongst yourselves.
Sounds good. Kind of,
Good.
step back. Yeah. So, first off, do we want to ask or mention the poison / ratweed stuff? Because I don't know if we're trying to hold that info for now.
2 things. I don't know if that gets us anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like, assuming that it is the guest, we already kind of know it is kind of not a very friendly one.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what we would get by mentioning it. I'm sure she knows about it, but I don't know, like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what that would get us.
With the ratweed?
Yeah.
Well, I want...
Like, what are we looking for when we asked about it?
Well, I would want to know if, one, they intentionally prepped... If she knows anything about prepping with ratweed, and if she even knows it was there... I would want to know, was this ratweed like the Mizukage's, and like she knows this is a thing that he keeps on hand for whatever, or if this is something that's like completely unknown. That would be my question.
Okay, never mind. That's valid then.
That would be the only thing with the poison, is basically trying to figure out whose it is, like why it was there.
Yeah.
And then what were we gonna say?
We go. I assume we're keeping the demon knife to ourselves.
Well, that was the other thing I was gonna ask here in a second. Was
Okay.
Yeah,
about
the
that.
ghosts and stuff.
Yeah. Do we want to mention that to her?
I think we are mentioning it. I think it is valid enough to where like they keep a room all tidy and nice and nobody goes into it for like a reason. I feel like that's a valid question to ask.
Oh, we ask about like the beds made in that room.
Yeah, and about like the apparitions.
Okay, so we're asking
We
about
won't
the
say
ghost.
one.
Do you agree, Suiko?
We're not gonna, off rip say one unhinged its jaw like a snake and
blood demon.
onto a hole. But probably about the little children, we should probably ask.
Okay, so we're not mentioning blood demon, Shikami, lady.
Not off rip.
Unless conversation leads there.
Yeah.
Do we want to ask Ritual Knife? So we go easy too?
Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just laying there in the open.
It was just vibing there.
Yeah, it was just there, so.
She
Okay.
did not try to hide it from us, so.
Okay, and do
Yeah, we
we
didn't
want
find it.
to hide poison for now then, and just leave that alone?
I think we can ask. I think we can say that you sniff some ratweed.
Okay, just
And
mention
to-
that we could smell it in the food. Maybe
Yeah,
not that
so
we found
ask
it.
her if she's common with
Okay.
ratweed.
Cool.
Since it is a
Good.
since you are a poison boy and this poison is specific to this place.
Either. All right, cool. Firm handshakes all around. We all good?
Firm handshakes all around. Dan, come here. Firm handshake. Okay.
Yes.
Dan lifts up both paws.
Grab them both. Firm handshakes.
All right, perfect. Step back up. So Sheena, I have a couple more questions. Do you want to give your proposal, or do you want us to ask a few more questions first?
Oh, please ask the questions first.
So, first question, Suiko or Rizito, if y'all want to ask about either, you can go for it.
Well, I'll go ask about the ghost. I feel like I have the most intimate encounter. All right, Sheena. We did investigate the house. Are apparitions common in your household?
Apparitions. You mean like yokai?
Like, maybe, but a lot more human, and they talk to you.
Who you gonna call?
Yeah, like if you were to if you were to describe them like in a movie, like the most famous movie would probably be somebody that you would call, like a certain group, like Bill Murray's in it.
I don't know about that. However, and her face kind of clouds. She says, it's commonly held as a rumor that the Mizukage's estate is haunted because of how things ended with the last succession war. Much of his family was killed on the grounds of that estate. Some by him and others by his allies at the time.
Ooh, okay.
And you living there have seen any?
I haven't seen anything. I've felt chills in the air, things of that nature. I've asked the Mizukage about it. He never gave a very straight answer, but he did say that if anything should ever happen to him on the grounds of the estate, his old family would rise up and take vengeance. I was not certain if he was joking or not at the time.
Take vengeance against who did it, or him? Probably him, right?
She shrugs and says, I think he meant that against whoever harmed him.
Oh, okay.
That's a bit of a strange perception of what happened in the last war. I don't discuss it with him.
Gotcha.
In any case, it wouldn't surprise me if, due to what happened on that land so long ago, the energies required for yokai might have been seeded, so to speak.
Okay.
You encountered some of these apparitions inside?
A couple. More than a couple.
A few.
You said that they spoke. What did they say to you? Did they tell you who did this?
It was more of like the void talking to you. And trust me, I know when the void's talking to you from another situation, but this is different. I couldn't really make out anything. It
You
was
lead a cursed life then, young man.
That's an interesting way to put it. Yeah, I kind of do. Yeah, anything to do with, because I went into the room with the two made beds that had a little dusty, not many people in there, and I got trapped and two of the apparitions appeared and wanted to hug me. Anything on that particularly?
Well, if it was the bedroom to the north, that's where his sister and his aunt used to sleep.
Interesting. Okay.
He maintains the room still. It's he's a very particular sort. The scars from that time still travel with him, I think.
I see.
Fair.
And I guess the other question is in the history, and I read up on some in the history of like the Mizukage and stuff, since you know him better, any of his family are just like, really tall or really violent?
Very tall and no, his family has always been fairly short. I mean,
see.
they are all violent, though. I would say that that's a fair statement.
Interesting.
Well,
Okay.
actually, I suppose that's not true. His mother, I believe, I never met her, but she was a very tall woman, from what I understand.
Ah, interesting.
1 second. Gotta type something out real quick.
She died quite young, though. I doubt there's a soul alive that remembers her besides the Mizukage.
I see. Okay, and then on the premise of, am I asking about the guys? Am I asking about the ritual dagger as well?
I didn't know if Suika wanted to take that one.
Suiko found that one.
Oh, yeah, sure. So we found a fun-looking knife, just like casually sitting out on the table. You know anything about that?
Can you describe the knife, or do you have it?
Oh wait, I think
Did
I
we
might
take
have
the
it.
knife on session?
We
Did you
did,
take it? I
but
think we.
Yeah,
One of us did.
I have it. I have
I
it.
just know it wasn't me.
Yeah,
I believe the rod ended up with it.
Yeah, I got it. I open up my pouch, digging past the ratweed, and I pull out the knife and kind of hand it to Suiko.
So here's the knife. How are we feeling about this?
Sheena's eyes widen a little bit, and she says, yes, that is the ritual knife of the water spirit. It should be locked away in our treasury right now, but apparently the Mizukage decided that he needed it.
Right, so how exactly is this ritual knife used?
Well, it's traditionally used to seal very important blood oaths or blood contracts, usually with summoning animals, these days at least. If it was out there, though, I don't know why it would be. And you said it was just sitting there?
Yep, just casually sitting there on that desk.
It was not there when I last saw it. I would have noticed something like that.
Interesting.
We would have too, definitely.
Yeah.
To be fair, you guys were focused on other things. It was a stressful situation.
I was losing my mind. I don't mean to. I'm sorry to interrupt you guys. I don't mean to barge in, both physically into your household and into your private lives. What's the thing that's trapped in that chest with all the seals?
There shouldn't be anything in there. If there was, he must have trapped it while I was. I can't imagine he would have gotten outside without me noticing before the fog. It's a contingency. It's a thing that he keeps in case.
Just like a backup, but like nothing would be in it, as far as you know.
She nods. If there was something in it, it wasn't there when I was. It wasn't there the day of. It would have happened during the dinner, I suppose.
Wait,
see.
what? What chest are you talking about? The one in the shed at the bottom
that was
right?
outside. Yeah,
Okay.
bottom right.
Okay.
All right.
Anything else? Questions with the knife, Suiko?
So she said it was related to the water spirit, right?
Yeah, she said that's kind of how it usually was used.
Supposedly, it was used between the first water spirit and the first Mizukage on the founding of the village. The water spirit granted its blessing to the land, and prosperity and such reigned forth ever since. That sort of thing. I'm not sure if any of that is true, but that at least is what the dagger is known for.
Have you ever seen the Mizukage use it before?
She shakes her head. She says, "I don't think I've ever even seen it before outside of a picture in a book."
How long have you been with the
Okay.
Mizukage?
Well, he adopted me when I was very young.
You were very young. Okay.
Well, on that note, I got one last question for you. Whenever we were inspecting the food and stuff, because I'm fairly proficient in poisons, and I swore I could smell a little bit of ratweed in one of them. Would you know about any of them using them? Did y'all use this when you prepped the food? Anything like that?
She tilts her head in interest, and she says, "Yes, I'm surprised you were able to detect it. the Mizukage frequently uses ratweed in diplomatic encounters. Well, he, dips a little bit in their food, and they begin experiencing symptoms, and he has the antidote on him. It's a way for him to showcase his great medical knowledge and heal and appear benevolent is the idea.
So you uses it as a ploy to look a lot better is kind of his main shtick usually.
That traditionally, yes. He keeps a patch of it somewhere, a packet of it somewhere. I'm not sure where though.
Okay. Gotcha.
He didn't have it. I didn't see him poison the food, but I suppose he could have after I had left.
Okay. Cool. Just wondering because I smelt a little bit of it and it was kind of odd. I know it's a poison, more known to this land, but
I'll have to tell the Mizukage when he comes back not to use it on any Inuzuka.
Well, we do sniff around on occasion. Well,
he uses that on people he wants to impress.
That's what I've seen him use it for, yes.
Which would make sense, being a not lethal, not super severe poison. Well, past that, since we don't have a ton of info on other stuff, what is your proposition that you had for us? Because I think that's all the questions we got. Unless.
Well, so the political situation here is complicated. I have the vast majority of ninja looking to me for guidance. They are uninterested in being involved in another deadly civil war, as there was when the Mizukage rose to power.
Makes sense.
However, both the Hoshigaki and the Futon clans are dead set on becoming the next Mizukage. And if one of them wins out, I'm going to have to support them. I won't have a choice. If I choose to go to war against them, it will change the balance of power such that I fear that your village would have no choice but to initiate an attack on either the lightning or the earth, or possibly us ourselves, taking advantage of our weakness.
Well, we definitely don't want that.
Well, no, I would not like that at all. My point is that if one of the clans wins out, and if the Mizukage doesn't come back for whatever reason, I would prefer it be the clan that did not attack him in the first place, or arrange his attack.
Okay.
Both of them blame the other.
Yes.
That I would find it difficult to believe that one of them didn't have a hand in it. They were both very prepared to begin this conflict, which makes me think that at least one of them had forewarning of it, and the other one perhaps knew that the other clan was preparing, so they themselves were preparing.
It is funny you say this, because I was starting to wonder if it was neither or, and it was just being caught in the middle.
Yes. So my point is, I would like you to discover which clan was involved in this, and ideally let me know and give me your reasoning. I will need very firm evidence to bring anything to the rest of my people. And if you also discover which clan is responsible, I would appreciate it if you supported the other to the extent that you're able to.
Okay. My last question then in that case would be, do you currently have any beliefs, even if it's just a hunch? Do you feel either way?
I can't imagine the Hoshigaki coming up with this on his own.
Okay.
However, if this third party, these sparrow creatures, if they put the idea in his head, I suppose he might have been stupid enough to go for it. On the other hand, the Futon might have reached out to the sparrows to begin with. That sounds like a ploy that they would participate in. I don't know. It could be either. Okay. In any case, I'd need firm evidence. My hunch is not. The rest of the ninja who are supporting me wouldn't accept my hunch on such things.
It's fair.
From your point of view, what was the Mizukage's relationship with these two main clans? Was it good or bad?
Good question.
Neutral?
You have to understand that's not really how clans in the mist think of relationships with other clans. It's more who has power and who doesn't. He respected them for their power, but he and them both understood that if they stepped out of line, he had more power, which meant that he could trust them until now, until a third party like the Sparrows came in and upset that balance. To be clear, I have no idea why the Mizukage ran. Despite his age, he is a very powerful ninja. I don't know what spooked him so.
And so where is the Mizukage now?
He reverse summoned himself, right?
She shrugs. She says, I would have expected him to have returned by now. It's been weeks, but I don't know. I have to believe he's still alive out there. I mean, he escaped the estate. I don't know.
Suppose you have any idea where he would hide?
She shrugs and says, there are literally hundreds of islands that he could have built a hideout on, and I'd never know.
Any particular islands associated with dragons?
She frowns and says, like that fire dragon that attacked your folk during the terracotta incident?
Yeah, I like that one.
There are rumors and there are myths about a water dragon that used to live in this area. But we've only ever considered it a myth, a legend. There aren't any particular ruins that I'm aware of associated with it.
I just look at Suiko.
I don't look at you.
Well, whenever we find that water dragon, we'll tell him to know.
Well, let him know.
I guess as far as this is just outside of this question. As far as our knowledge goes, is there like a one of each dragon situation, or is it like there are multiple wind, water, fire dragons?
You have no idea.
I was kind of wondering the same thing, but I figured we wouldn't know.
Figured the answer was I don't know, but
yeah.
Thought maybe.
Good question.
I mean, there were, based on the legends that you've heard, there were talk of like a lot of dragons back in the day, and each of them would like rule over their own area or whatever. But yeah, you get the sense there are more than 5 of them for sure.
Yeah, the more likely scenario is that there's one per area as opposed to one per element.
You would, I suppose,
like
that'd be a reasonable assumption based on what you know.
Okay. So I kind of look at Sheena and I'm like, well, thank you. I appreciate all the kind of information that you could provide. We're going to do a little bit more snooping around and hopefully get you some solid evidence. One final question. Have you seen at least the Futon and Hoshigaki, like, in battle, even if it's just sparring? Like, have you seen them fight before? Like, not together, but just, like, in general, have you seen them fight things or, like, use their powers?
The Mizukage has an extensive network of spies that report such sparring activities to him. So, yes, I've seen some of those reports.
Okay. And on that note, I kind of have my idea on the answer to this anyway, but would either of them, like, tend to use, when using water and things of that nature, do they, like, absorb water or anything of that type? Kind of using water as a power source, like taking it in?
No, that would not be a typical power. Usually you would take advantage of the water in the environment and mold something into it, like create a wall or a flurry of shuriken, things like that.
Can either of them do that? Like, more better than the other one, necessarily?
I would say that, well, the Futon clan specializes in corrosive mists and boiling techniques. The Hoshigaki clan specializes more in
water.
Ukijutsu, with a bit of water jutsu on the side.
Okay, so neither of them are like heavy water users, though.
Well, no, I wouldn't say so.
Okay.
I mean, it depends on the individual.
Okay, gotcha. Fair enough. Well, I suppose we will go get some more info for you and hopefully can come back with some answers.
She nods and says, I hope you do. Best of luck. What's your team name?
Ooh,
Kendra's my hero. Oh, yeesh. We're gonna get back to you on that.
Team Fan.
Team Than?
I'm okay with Team Fan.
Team Fan.
I'm okay with Team Than.
We're Team Fan.
We're Team Fan.
We're Team Than.
He is kind of your mascot. Well, best of luck, Team Than. Come back here and then report whenever you have more information or if you need additional help.
Dan's just wagging his tail ferociously. I'm so honored.
right.
Cool.
Where would you guys like to head next?
All right,
we're
how
going
we
to that.
feeling about getting in that lake?
Oh no, I'm not jumping in here right now.
No, I meant at the estate, not.
Oh, at the estate.
Oh, okay,
I think let's go back to the estate after we go to the temple to give the spirits more time to die down since we just left that area.
Or at least know more
Okay.
about him.
I also do want to say like I was asking because I kind of knew they both were like heavy water users, but since the water level was low, one of my theories was like someone was using the water for like jutsus and stuff.
Yeah.
Which
what
I
I
know
thought
Mufasa.
Mufasa.
I know it's not his name, but Mufasa is the little water boy. So just saying.
You can make
Mufasa,
a quick intelligence check,
sus.
Arata.
Oh, okay. Listen, I'm just throwing out accusations for fun, okay?
I did think about that. I think you're gonna get a solid.
Nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did think about that, but I don't know how. Actually, I would have known how it works, but I don't know if you could bring it down.
I mean, Izuto can make an intelligence check too, I guess. It seems like you're thinking about this too.
Yeah, because I think I would have known, because Matafusa got into like a river, I think. But he also fought in the tuning exams in a small pond. So I guess I would have seen if the level went down.
Yeah,
I
if the
guess
level went down.
We're going to see if the level went down. Is this just straight intelligence?
Oh, well, I guess if you're trying... Well, yeah, it would be straight intelligence anyway. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I got a nat 20, so...
Sheesh!
Alright. So in terms of your memory of Matafusa, when he can absorb water, but usually it, once he's done using it or whatever, it sort of like forms a puddle around him. All the excess water gets shaken off, basically. And in fact, that would be with an at 20, if people were using water jutsu around the pond, like using the pond as a source, then the water would fall on the ground and it would, through the groundwater supply, return to the pond.
Go back.
Pretty quickly.
Okay. That was kind of an assumption I had.
With the nat 20, I'll also give you a more likely candidate for whatever destroyed or removed part of the water would be either something like a boiling style jutsu or a fire release jutsu.
Yeah.
Oh, makes sense. Okay.
Someone was a little biased.
You had a good idea, Rod. I mean, that's why I let you.
I just wanted to murder Mufasa because I would have been hype.
I would have fought with him, bro.
Okay. You're gonna turn on Team Than after we just got our name.
I would have turned on Dan. It's not Team Arata.
Oh, just me. Okay, fair.
Sorry, did she say the water level was lower before this all happened?
She said she didn't see anything weird with the water when she left.
Okay.
But I mean, I also don't think she would have been like actively going like, what's the water level like right now?
Yeah, what's the water level today
So-
in a rainy village?
So I don't know if like it might have been and she just wouldn't have seen it. I think that's also fairly likely.
All right, with a nat 20, just because there is a little bit more you could probably squeeze out of this. A reasonable assumption might be that the person who was using the fire release or boiling or whatever thought that the Mizukage was still inside of the pond and was
Gotcha.
trying to get him out of it.
Makes sense. When my dad told me about Inuzuka Girl, which I know the other two don't know about this, he didn't mention any kind of elemental release, did he?
Nope.
Okay, I was like, I don't remember
However,
him saying
usually
it, but-
Inuzuka, that's not what's associated.
No, yeah,
with
we don't have it
it'd be like
often.
if it is, it would be like wind, not fire.
Okay, yeah, I knew that we were not known for that, so. Okay, cool. I think I am good if we're ready to go to the temple.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys are headed to the temple.
Yuppers.
So we got two possibilities. Either Radafuski is with a fire guy.
Oh,
or
don't be that guy.
Futon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Unless
Futon
another
being
one has
corrosive,
fire
I don't
release,
like
which
that.
is like unless another one has fire release, which is possible. But usually he was walking by himself the one time we saw him, so I don't know. I don't know if he can do him.
Oh, my man's on top of the roof. Can we talk about that?
He's just vibing. Yeah.
Yeah. So you guys arrive at the temple. You don't see any civilians there, and you don't see any monks. You get the sense, due to the state of things right now, like any what would normally be like, a place to go to for worship or whatever, that is on hold right now when there's a potential war or civil war brewing. So there's basically just the people who are there to guard it, to make sure it stays safe in the meantime.
I mean, I suppose I would just kind of walk in and see if anyone's in there.
Sure. I mean, inside you see like various statues and like prayer wheels and things like that. But yeah, you don't find anything of particular interest.
Okay.
No, not even like a little bookshelf here or there.
No, there wouldn't be any books inside of this the temple here.
And we just kind of walked by all these people and they didn't really care, I presume.
Yeah, no, you get the sense. I mean, these guys are probably sided with Sheena, so they're neutral in the war. So they're just here to guard this place. That's all they're here for.
Okay. I suppose I would like to step out and kind of shout at this guy up on the roof. I'm just like, I'm trying to figure out what I want to say. Hey, do you mind if we ask you a few questions?
Nice. He doesn't miss.
I don't just keep it simple. You know.
He looks down at you and says, "What do you want?"
Listen, I just have a few questions about the Land of Mist in general. We're here from the village hidden in the leaf, and it'd be really cool if I could stop yelling across this area to talk to you.
He yells back down, "I'm on guard duty. Go find someone else."
God damn it.
Hey, Arata, I didn't want to be that guy because you were just on a roll with the questioning. We could ask a non-roof person.
Yeah, but he seems important. That's why I wanted to ask him. I feel like you don't put a nobody up on the top of the roof. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, you can also walk on walls. You go up there.
I start walking down annoyed.
You can walk on walls. You can literally. I'm telling you to do it. You can walk on walls.
No, I don't even want to talk to him anymore. He had a chance. He's not important to me anymore.
All right.
Let's see, what do we got? Tuning, joning. I suppose I approach this joning over here.
So the Jonin that you approach, he's kind of like, he's got this like nasty beard. He's kind of sweaty, and he's just like leaning against and like leaning in way too close to this younger Chunin.
Oh god.
And he like barely even notices as you guys walk up. However, the girl does notice and immediately sort of takes a step back and says, "Oh, hi, who are you?"
Hey, we are from the Hidden Leaf. We were, wondering if we could ask you guys some questions.
The Jonin turns around, looking annoyed, and he says,
I
"Oh
hate
yeah,
this.
Sheena told us about you guys. What do you want, kids? Is this the best Land of Fire has to offer, huh? Well, tough times, I suppose."
Listen, I don't.
Arata.
I know. I just hold for 1 second. I turn to the Jonin, as I'm kind of patting Easy-Toe on the shoulder. I'm just like, well, I mean, not to say we both couldn't all take you on one-on-one and all win, but excluding that, I was, just kind of curious if, you know anything about, ghosts of this land, anything of that nature. Trying to get the lore of the land is really what we're trying to do right now.
Lore of the land?
Mm-hmm.
Ghosts? Kid, ghosts aren't real. I don't know if they teach that over in the Land of Fire, but yeah, that's a legend. Yokai are real, and well, I've fought quite a few of those, but nothing supernatural about them. You hit them hard enough, and they die just the same as anything else. And he sort of like flexes a little bit.
Can I look over at Suiko and kind of nod to like get the girl out of the way?
Yeah, I was gonna.
Yes. I'm
Not-
like, hey,
not violently, but like if they're
No,
together,
no,
we're not
no.
gonna get a good
I
viewpoint.
got. No. I got girl questions for her.
And that seems like a place for not Arata and Isto, but maybe Thin.
Exactly.
Maybe
We got
so.
girl things to talk about.
The
Let's go.
girl, yeah, she sees Suiko like sort of pulling her away, and she like waves and says, "Oh, I'm gonna, I need to. This is actually an old friend, so I'll be right back." And
Yeah, we got some serious girl things to talk about. All right.
I was gonna say, I think at this point, seeing that, because like obviously I want her to take the girl away, I'm just gonna try to small talk this guy, like not necessarily getting info, more distracting, letting Suiko take the kid away and go.
I am going to sit on this bench in a very not happy and violent pose. not violent pose, but full of anger.
I have
Alright.
fans standing in between them just in case.
Sure. You can make a, I guess it would be a performance check, Arata.
Oh, don't do me like this.
I'm not really helping you, my bad, man.
14. I mean, the guy, he's basically been ordered to tolerate you, so he is, like, tolerating you. He's getting, like,
Okay.
increasingly annoyed at your small talk.
That's fine. I want him to swing.
Yeah, he basically just, like, keeps mocking you, like, doing little subtle jabs and stuff.
You know what? Better than a nat 20. Good.
Oh, man. Arata's
Nat
gonna
20,
do
he
something.
goes with it. 14, he gets annoyed. I'm okay with that.
Arata's gonna do something he shouldn't.
So, Suiko, what would you like to... The girl is obviously very happy to speak with you, and she thanks you profusely for getting her out of that conversation, whatever conversation that was.
That
She
guy
says-
usually bother you like that?
She rolls her eyes and says, I mean, to be fair, it's not just me. It's a lot of the female younger Chunin. Don't worry, he's
Damn.
mostly harmless, but just very, very annoying and gross.
Damn.
But
Someone
thanks
should fix
anyway.
his app.
Well, it is what it is. You had questions for him. Is there anything that I could help with?
Yeah. God damn it. What did Arata ask him?
Nah, you're on your own at this
About,
point.
Yeah, I'm on my own.
My questions weren't good, if that helps you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it doesn't help. I mean, you know anything about, I don't know, rumors about ghosts or yokai in this area?
She shrugs and she says, well, there are yokai that appear pretty frequently in the mists. Whenever there's like a heavy concentration, like after a big rainfall, usually they come crawling from that sort of thing. But the ninja, you know, we keep things pretty clear in the city and in the outskirts of the city. In terms of ghosts, well, some people say that the Mizukage's estate is haunted by the ghosts of his fallen family.
Well, no one, I don't suppose you know where those rumors originate from. Like, is there anyone in particular starting them, or has that just been around for years?
Oh, that's been around since I was told those stories as a child. So they've been around ever since it happened, I suppose. The great bloody massacre at the estate.
So, what about the water spirit that, like, guards the Mizukage? How does that work exactly?
Oh no, the water spirit doesn't guard the Mizukage. The Mizukage requires permission from the water spirit to lead our people. The water spirit is very real. I've seen it before. It only comes out every once in a while, usually for ceremonial things. It's very beautiful.
Where is this water spirit?
It's in the Seashell Council building, the old temple. She sort of points where you guys just came from. A large dome to the east.
Okay. And it only communicates with the Mizukage?
She shakes her head. She says, no, it speaks to everyone. Like I said, it's quite the experience. You just get like a feeling of calm, which is an unusual feeling in our land, let's just say.
Nagi.
Nagi.
What did you say?
Nothing. It's
Nagi, it's
Okay.
we're weebs.
Okay, great. Right.
Any other questions, Suiko?
Not that I can think of right now.
Okay.
Get back to Izuto. I mean, Arata.
Well, I mean, Arata, are you going to try to ask the Jonin any questions of interest, or are you just small talking him?
Yeah, I'm very reactive on what Suiko comes back and does.
After, I suppose after small talking a bit, kind of seeing that Suiko's finishing up, I guess I would ask a few more things.
The Jonin actually, she tells Suiko when she returns to the group that the Jonin over here, she points at the one on the bridge, told her to stick with that squat for a little bit. So that's what she's going to go to.
Okay. Yeah, with this Jonin, not really. I don't really have anything else to ask him. I'd rather go talk to the
he
other
would probably
Jonin.
not give you a helpful answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think we're getting anywhere with that guy.
So I just kind of finish my small talk, I suppose. I'm like, well, thanks, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for your time. I hope you have a good one, and you should try talking to people your age. But who am I to judge? And I just kind of start walking off. And I am, before he even gets a chance to say anything, I'm gonna break my own rule here, and I'm gonna say he doesn't have to be unconscious for this situation. And as we're walking off, Than hikes his leg just right on his foot, like a little dribble, like nothing too much, just like a little bit, as he kind of walks off, walking with him.
Nice.
Yeah, you hear loud swearing and yelling in your wake, but he does not pursue you at this apparent random act of.
Yeah, as we're walking off, I look at Than and I'm like, you can't be doing that to random people, like winking at him as I'm saying this, facing the other direction. Just kind of walking off.
It's all random. It's all random. Chad still Izuto decides to do it too.
Oh, you're gonna pee on him?
I thought about it.
Yeah, a drastic shift in the tone of the campaign. All right, what would you have to do? Are you still hanging around here? Or you like to go somewhere else?
I guess see if Suiko got any info from the girl. Dun, dun.
I want to try talking to the water spirit.
I don't know if we can do that, but we can try.
Ceremonies, but I think we can try. Because it comes in and chooses the Mizukage, I think.
Yeah.
And that's when it comes out.
So we might see it later, but that would probably be after we have made our choice.
Fair.
Or we've
also,
kind of given input.
What's up with that?
What's up with that?
What's up with what? Are you pinging something?
Izuto?
Fuck, what is he? What are you doing? Did he silence himself? Are you dead? Okay.
He's thinking very hard, maybe.
Let me see, did he text me?
Did you want to question anyone else?
No? Well, I was gonna talk to this Jonin down here. I had a question in my head, but now I got lost. Well, so I'm assuming he disconnected or his internet messed up or something.
You can hear us, we cannot hear you.
That's weird. Is he still on the call? You'd think it would boot him out.
It'd boot him out. What was I gonna ask?
I just love how he said, "What's up with that?" and then
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
I thought he was gonna say that. I thought he was gonna say that guy and kind of referring to him, like the.
He was talking about the UFO outside of his door. He says, "What's up with that?"
Oh, there you go. He texted me. I disconnected.
Yes.
That's what the aliens would want us to think, though.
That is, they got into his phone.
What was I gonna ask? I was gonna ask about where to go next. It was where to go next, but it was more it was not such a vague question. It was a more direct question.
Why did we come here in the first place?
I came here to see if there was any religious figures or anything like that here that we could kind of talk to.
Is that you, or is it the Izuto replacement?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Cool. Alright, this is Izuto replacement here.
Oh my god. The aliens got him.
I was just asking. I was asking if the girl was okay from the Jonin. To Suiko.
Yeah, she's fine. Apparently that guy's a sleazebag and he does that to all the young women. I feel like we should kind of kick his ass.
No, we're not.
Suiko,
no.
I looked right at
Suiko.
Suiko. I'm saying I'm not gonna do anything, but if you do something and the tuning start getting the wrong idea, I will protect you until his ass is fully beat.
Listen, let's listen. Nothing happened. Okay, was it good? No.
Nothing happened in this instance.
Harasser should. Okay, I don't care if he didn't do anything. He's still a harasser.
I agree. I also would like to not destroy relations while we're in the middle of an investigation. You know what I mean?
How tall are these barriers?
Oh,
What a fun question.
yeah, they're like they're normal fences, like like waist high, a little higher than waist high.
Don't do what I
just
think
to
you're
keep
gonna
people from,
do.
like, just
Don't
like
do what I
kidding.
think you're gonna
If
do.
I were trying
Don't do it.
to push him,
I knew where that was going.
theoretically,
I knew where that was going. God damn it.
how likely would that be?
I mean, he's sitting on a bench, so it'd have to be a pretty big shove.
It's
Like,
not leaned up against it.
yeah, he's not like precariously perched on it or anything. He's sitting on a bench like nearby.
How tall and big is this guy?
I mean, he's standard height, standard size. I mean,
Oh.
yeah, like 6 foot tall, I guess. Well,
Guys, I don't like him either, but I feel like we have more pressing matters to worry about right now.
I mean, like, you're right, but also
hey,
someone has
you
to.
know, if you want to fix this problem, you could petition the next Mizukage to make an HR department.
True. There we go. See, that's what I'm talking about. Solving things with words instead of violence. Now that he is peed on, though, we can find him later when we're leaving, because he'll have
Okay.
the aroma, and we can do something when we're leaving. Firm handshakes.
All right. I will not forget that. I will
Okay.
forget everything else, but I won't forget that.
Okay, that's fine, because I will be able to find him, so we'll be fine.
Could
All
just
right.
also magnetize him to the water, but yeah.
Okay, so let's leave him alone for now.
For now. But we'll come back and then
Okay,
magnetize
so
him
do
to
we
the
want to
water.
go check out the estate one more time?
I would like to examine the pond.
Yeah, and then we can go and maybe talk about talking to the water spirit. Maybe
Yeah.
it goes that way.
All right, and
Also-
have we been given like a time frame for this, by the way?
Not yet.
Not really. Okay, I didn't think so.
Seems like tensions are there, though.
No, yes,
Like,
yeah.
this
I
is-
know this isn't something we can leisurely go through, but okay. I suppose you're going back to the. I mean, I'm sure there's info we can find here, though.
Okay, did we ask coming down here for this other journey, not like the other one?
Well, yeah, that's.
I like waved to this guy.
So
I was
you're
just-
approaching this scene, and what was happening before is those two male chunin. They were kind of doing a little bit of like just technique practice in front of the jonin who was giving the pointers. Now that the girl has joined them, one of the guys is sort of sitting out and taking a rest, and those two are sort of continuing practicing some jutsu techniques. The jonin sees you guys and sort of puts up a hand and tells these two to rest and walks over. He says, "Yes, what can I do for you?"
Yeah. How's it going? We're from Land of Fire. I'm sure you've heard of us.
Told
And
us
saw us.
about you. We're to cooperate in any way that's reasonable. We are supposed to be on guard duty here, though, so if you have questions, I'd like you to keep them brief.
Yeah, of course. Just one thing that might be internal. Maybe keep an eye on the other Jonin. He was kind of harassing the girl there. I'd probably keep an eye on that.
He rolls his eyes and says, "Yeah, I didn't. If I had known, I would have asked him to be placed somewhere else. But I'm not in charge of the duty roster, unfortunately."
Yeah, I'll talk to Sheena about that. The more pressing one, 2 questions. I'll keep them brief. 1, is there a central religious leader for this temple? And 2, do you know where they live?
He looks a little bit suspicious. Go and make a persuasion check.
I'm waiting.
Just outright asking.
I guess,
strangers
yeah.
to
I guess
live.
that sounds kind of bad.
Where's your high priest? Where's his home?
It does
Does
sound
he have,
bad.
Where's his house? Where's the neat place we could
It would probably be better.
But yeah, I guess I'm.
Where's a place that we could like silently kill him and no one would know? Like, I don't want to do that, but like, where could I do that?
Yeah, I get it now. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah,
He-
this is
he-
valid.
yeah.
I deserve this.
He says, well, there is a monk who tends to this temple. His home is a private place, though. I would not be comfortable sharing that information.
That's fair. Could we get in contact with him? I see how it might have sounded a bit weird to go to his house now.
I can send a message to him. Yes. If you have questions, I can have him reply to them via letter. He's an old man. I don't think that he'd be willing to meet with you.
Okay, I was gonna suggest meeting like at this temple, but we can just ask normally. I was wondering if he knew anything, and I guess I take out a piece of paper or something, and like write down the questions that we have asked, which I guess will be
Does he know anything about like ghost apparitions related to the Mizukage? Anything about dragons on this island and or land? Anything else that we would like to ask him?
I think those are kind of our main leads
For the
that
spiritual
that
questions?
he could help us with. Because we kind of know what the ritual knife is for. And I don't think he would know why.
And I
it
guess
was out
anything
that day.
about blood demons or blood gods.
Yes. Any idea about blood gods and blood demons?
Correct.
Okay.
Just your casual everyday questions, you know.
Yeah, of course.
I would word that in a professional manner with deer at the beginning, and as much as I want to put love at the end, I'll put hope to find you in good health or something.
Okay.
And I handed him a folded piece of paper, which he could theoretically open and read, but the implication that I kind of want to keep it between us two.
Sure. He doesn't open. He just takes it and puts it in his vest, and he says, "I'll get this passed along soon." If you could write down those questions in like a notepad or something and just send them to me, that would be helpful.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I'll write them down.
Blood demons.
Anything about blood god?
And past that, I suppose we're going to the temple. Or to the house,
Yeah,
I mean.
We can go to the temple. I'll start writing them down.
All right. You're going to the estate next. Back to the estate.
Yes.
All right.
I would like to peek around for ghosts before we walk in, though.
Yeah. Also, do
paranoid.
one of you want to check out that garden shed just in case I missed something on the north of the property?
On the north? Oh, yeah, we can.
Dear monk, I hope this
Just
letter
in
finds you
case.
well.
You're going to write this whole property.
Very polite.
Okay, why were we coming back here? There's a specific... Oh, the pond. That's right.
Okay, so with this, I think the scratchy demon tried to get in the water to find the Mizukage,
Well,
because there's
yeah, we
scratch
don't...
marks right next to it.
Yeah, we don't necessarily know if it was the demon or not. One thing, Izuto, are you... I know you're writing right now, but would you be following Suiko to go to the pond?
Yes.
Okay. I then, as they kind of keep going, I want to examine this body, more specifically to see if these claw marks look like some kind of Inuzuka clan jutsu, or anything like that. Because I didn't really look at it last time, but now that I'm like kind of by myself, I'm trying to see if I kind of see any similarities to from what I've seen that like damage is caused when we use our jutsus and stuff like that.
Okay. Yeah, you can make a investigation check.
Dun, 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 dun.
I'll say with advantage, since you are of the Inuzuka clan.
Since it is my gang. Haha!
Yeah. Okay.
Who needs advantage?
Yeah.
I
So-
hope we don't get into combat.
Yes, sir.
I'm not gonna go well.
And I suppose, I
I'm
mean,
just trying to think. Your dad has probably not told you about this.
okay.
So, your best guess. This does not look like anything any Inuzuka would do.
Okay.
Usually the Inuzuka, it is slashing damage, but it's less like less
Claw.
brutal, I guess.
Okay.
It's less like it's more control.
A little more
Like the whole
finesse.
The Inuzuka, yeah, it's finesse. It's between you and your partner, you're so well coordinated that you don't need to just like, slash
Gash
like
into
an
them.
animal.
I got you.
This is definitely more animalistic,
Okay.
which is surprising since you know that the individual Ratsumi, her Nindog, her partner, supposedly died.
Yeah.
Along with the rest of her team.
So it looks not very practiced, like it was just something clawing through, just trying to kill.
No, I mean, I don't know if I'd say I don't know if practice it. It's more about brute strength, I guess,
Okay.
is what I would say.
Okay, rather than like hitting points specifically, it is just trying to tear as much flesh off as possible, kind of thing.
Yeah, I want to give you more with a nat 20, but I can't think of anything
No,
else
it's
I would
fine.
give you.
I'm annoyed I rolled a nat 20 because all I really wanted was an answer if it was Inuzuka or not. But
Yeah.
that's fair.
It doesn't match any Inuzuka thing that you're familiar with.
Okay, my 20s are always on dog shit things anyway, so I'm just gonna go cry in my corner.
Unfortunately.
I'm sorry.
Anyway,
That is funny because he was like, "Can I look at the kitchen?" Nat 20, bro. It's a kitchen. I don't know what to tell you.
that's what I'm saying, dude. Literally all my 20s. Yeah. So I just kind of keep examining, just walking through.
You got the nat 20 on the rat weed. That was important.
I guess. I don't think that's going to be that important, to be honest with you. Now that I kind of understand its purpose. All right.
All right. What would you guys like to do here? You're at the edge of the pond.
So she said that he was like in the middle of the pond when he did this, right?
Yeah.
Well, he dove into the pond and came back out with a scroll.
Okay. And then other question would be, do we, like, just on base glance, like not even a check necessarily, but just with plain eyes, do we see it? Like, is this mark actually a mark in the water that we see, or is this just like a, or is that just like leaves, like seaweed? I don't know.
Oh, yeah, no, that's just, those are fish, I think, little
Little fish things. Okay,
fish.
gotcha. I suppose
cool.
I would hop in with Suiko and get Than to kind of try to swim underwater, investigate around a little bit.
I am on top of this bridge with my iron umbrella, just watching them to come up, but I refuse to be jumping in right now.
So who's underwater right now?
Me, Than, and
Everybody
I'm
except
assuming
me.
Suiko.
Okay. So Suiko, Than, and Arata, you guys can all make quick perception checks, and this is for hearing.
Ooh, that's what I like to hear. Second time I made that joke, and I'll do it again, baby. I'll farm that till I'm dead.
You're so good, dude.
I
God,
know.
you just don't miss.
Oh, that's me. Holy shit.
Oh, wait, again.
This is Than, I guess, if it matters.
It doesn't. I mean, with a nat 20. So I'll say with a nat 20,
Dude, we better not fight anything this session.
you are aware that before you stepped into the pool,
Okay.
the fish, there was no no sound, no vibrations coming from within the pool. It was just standard, like whatever normal stuff there would be. However, the second that you stepped in, you along with Suiko and Than, the fish, for lack of a better term, began singing.
Okay.
Somewhat unnaturally so.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And in addition, with your nat 20, you find the hidden stuff.
Pog!
So there is a section of earth at the bottom, which has been created. It has a faint sense of chakra around it. Inside, you can sort of claw away at the bed. There's an unnatural air bubble hidden beneath. And with a nat 20, you can see where the scroll was. It sort of there's like an imprint
indentation.
of where the scroll was.
Gotcha.
Additionally, there's a nice large blanket and a pillow. You get the
Inside this
sense that,
bubble?
if you recall, the only bed that was in use was the one in use by Sheena. You get the sense that this is where the Mizukage sleeps.
Ah, okay. I guess it's more safe under here. Yeah. Is that that it? I suppose with that,
Yeah, I mean that.
that's good. I was just kidding. I definitely swim up, and at first I'm like, "Bro, did y'all hear those fish sing? That was crazy. these fish going crazy down here." But then I
would not have been aware of that, but
okay.
yes.
I very quickly, climb up here, and relay to the others, like, hey, so I found clearly where the scroll was, like it was down here. There's also a bed down there, and I guess that's where he sleeps, as my assumption. I guess I don't know if he feels like maybe it's safer or whatever the case may be, but it seems like that's where he stays.
Interesting. Do we know any abilities of the Mizukage that would have to do with being in water? Like, do we know his clan or something?
I don't think he has any particular things with his clan. Let me check.
Imagine being a non-clan Mizukage. That's so embarrassing.
I mean, he's kind of raw though.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah.
I mean, he is kind of raw. If this land if this land is by power.
So his clan, yeah, he is considered. He is non-clan technically. His clan was considered to be strong. Like his father before him was the previous Mizukage, but that was just based off of their skill with like water release jutsu, basically. He would be, I suppose, yeah, he would be famous. He has an ability, or a jutsu rather, called Grudge Rain. That's his most famous thing. It basically, well, it's a extremely like wide range technique, and it basically hinders his enemies and helps his allies by increasing the amount of chakra that it takes for enemies to use jutsu. And decreasing the amount for his allies to use jutsu.
That's cool.
Signed, sincerely, Team Thanatos. I finished my letter.
Nice. Does that tell us anything? I don't know if that really. I mean, I'm glad we found it, but. And the fish are just regular fish, right? Like.
I mean, they look like regular fish.
Are they koi, goldfish? Is there a filter somewhere?
They would be koi. Yeah.
Is there a filter somewhere? It's naturally aerated. It's a pond. It's fine.
Valid.
Okay. And there was nothing else. It was just the bed and like the indent of the scroll.
Do the koi look normal? Do they have a certain magical rainbow aspect to them?
I mean, I'll say with a nat 20, you do kind of assume, Murata, that these fish don't sing naturally. There is some like chicanery that's going on in there, but you're not. You'd have to like grab a fish and like dissect it to figure out what was going on.
Yeah, I don't think any of us have the capabilities of that yet. I don't got my medical ninjutsu yet. I mean, I am good in medicine, which I guess would be surgery.
That's funny. If you, I didn't realize if you do a notepad in Discord, it just does the text. Anyway.
It's very convenient.
Okay, so the person who like boiled the lake, I guess
we're trying
they
to
must
get
have
him out.
known about his hideout, or maybe they just saw him go into the lake.
Yeah, I mean, I guess they would have had to have known somehow that is where he stays.
Yeah.
They have been watching him for a bit.
Do we know what Sheena can do?
No, didn't ask.
Do we have any knowledge of her?
Didn't ask, didn't tell.
Shit. Okay, well, we need to ask her what her. We also never told her the pond was like less, right? I know we kind of were like, any notice anything, but yeah, I know because I specifically avoided. Yeah, I specifically avoided saying why. Okay.
Can I check to see if one, I can get out of this rain, and two, if all the shoes are still there? And also, I would like to bring someone and not go by myself.
I mean, I think we can all walk in. Yeah, I don't have anything else around here that I want to do. Or actually, she wanted to go do the north thing. Yeah, I can go do the shed. You two can go in there.
Go roll in at 20.
So I'll go check out. I'll go check out the shed. Is it unlocked from Subiko's last, or I guess open? I don't know where she barged it down or what happened.
It would be unopened. It appears to be.
I can't see.
Take your shoes off. Take your shoes off.
All right, you can make your. You can make an investigation check with advantage, Arata, since Than is helping you.
Pog,
to answer your question, Izuto, the shoes are still there as you left them.
I take my shoes off because I am polite.
Yes.
14, 20, we take those?
Whoa, calm down, Izuto. The door closes behind Suiko.
Oh, God.
Oh, cool.
Shit,
as you
here we
try
go
to open
again.
it does not open.
I hate my life. You know what? I don't even know this is happening now. Actually, I'm not stressed. It's not my problem.
Rod is just examining his shed.
You make a very thorough check of the shed here, Arata, and you're very confident that it is a gardening shed with gardening tools for cabbages.
This is what I figured, but fair enough. I will start making my way back to the house, so you do whatever they gotta do within the time that I would take to get back to the house.
I rolled a 20 for the gardening shed.
Oh, wait, okay. Can I try? Okay. I want to,
Okay.
knowing
Hold
the
on.
situation,
I'll just
because
stare at it. We're good.
I want to be funny. I want to mess
Hold on,
with
okay.
them.
It
Of,
opens
like-
its mouth and goes in to kiss you, Izuto.
Pull back. Not aggressively, but just I don't think I'm ready for that in my life right now.
Okay, I heard the door.
I'm taken. I'm sorry.
Is she pretty
So,
though?
Suiko, you're coming back to check on him?
I heard the door shut behind me, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Jiggle the handle. Does it unlock?
Yeah, it opens up.
What are you doing?
I'm just the apparition appeared again. It tried to kiss me this time. Last time it tried to hug me. I
Oh.
feel like they have a thing for me, and I don't think Naki would be too happy with this. I don't like this.
Well, whatever. Come on.
Okay.
Arata, did you want to do something?
Yeah. I'd want to, Are there any, like, windows to this house? Like, around?
There's one there. There's one over here.
Any connected to the main room that I would have known of from last time? Like, the main part of the house?
The only one that was this one, right?
So there's kind of like 2 layers. There's like, there are some, it's on the southern side though, that would like connect directly to the middle of the house.
Yeah, I suppose I would just walk into this hallway then.
Hey, Izuto,
Yes, ma'am.
I want you to know, if the ghosts come after us and try and kill us, I do not forgive you for hitting me.
That's okay. I don't take it back.
You hit her?
In fact,
I slapped
He,
her.
he slapped her last time.
questioning our friendship.
Oh my God.
I think it was probably better for the team if I did, so it's all good.
I knowing they're in there, I want to walk over to the wall. Even though I know everyone's stressed out, I would think this is funny, and I want to like kind of hit the wall a couple times just to like make random noises throughout the house. Just kind of like bang on the wall a little bit.
Izuto, they're here for you.
I still hate the rain more. I don't care about sounds. The appearance is what scares me.
And I would walk over to go through this door, pretending like I didn't make the noise. Boop.
Arata, before you
Oh,
exit
right, yes,
the
yes.
hallway there,
Yes.
you hear a sharp pounding on the door behind you.
Fuck me. Okay. That's fair. Can I open this door below me?
Yeah, you can open it.
Okay. I open and I walk through. And I'm like, hey guys. So the first bang on the wall was me, and I apologize for that. Because now there's actual banging coming on the outside, and now I am scared. So, did y'all find anything? Also, the shed is for gardening tools. There's literally nothing else. I promise you I examined it thoroughly.
Yeah, another apparition appeared.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it tried to. This one tried to kiss me. They're getting a bit more.
They do
They're
seem
getting,
to
they're getting a bit
friendly.
harder with me. All right, they're realizing I'm playing hard to get.
Yeah.
With ghosts.
They haven't even
Now
taken you out to dinner yet, which is crazy.
Yeah, they went to hug and then immediately to kiss. So I would like to not be here.
Okay, yeah,
as soon as possible.
Also,
I am down
Izuto,
to dip out unless y'all have something else you wanted to check, because I know we wanted to check the pond, and then the shed, and that was
Izuto,
our only
the
intention.
ghosts seem to like you. Go check out what was banging.
I would like to go as a team into
No.
the door.
I'm
not going.
We can't leave him by himself.
I'm not going without y'all. To be clear.
Okay, can we just open the door, which I know it's not really possible, but like without walking through, just kind of like open it up to see in.
It's not gonna be anything
Well,
good.
shit. All right, we see that, and I turn around and start running.
Well,
All right, and I
Wait, what would you see? What was?
the big blood god thing. Do we want to try to throw something at it just to see if it does take damage? Because I feel like I do
No.
want to know that. I do want to know that.
you
though.
can throw something physical. I get what you're
did
asking.
it do?
Yeah.
I get what you're asking.
What
I
did
would
it do when
like.
you opened the door?
Do what?
What did it do when you opened the door? Nothing. It
It's-
just stood there.
Yeah.
It has fully eaten a human body.
We watched it consume a body. I don't want to mess with it, but I do. Are these books on the shelf right here?
Like I said, they're paper supplies. They aren't books.
What is like the heaviest, easiest, not heaviest, like easiest to just kind of grab and chunk object that I see?
like a literal paperweight.
Yeah, is there like a paperweight or something that I see?
Yeah, there would be paperweights. Yeah.
Okay, I would like to grab a paperweight.
It'll be the one we get back.
And walk to the door. I know, but I just want to see. And go open the door again.
I open door.
But I'm not walking in. I'm just opening a door. Fuck, I don't like Hudson in this moment in time. And I want that to be clear.
There's a sharp pounding door down near the bedroom.
Which one? Can you ping it?
Bottom one.
Bottom one? Okay, I want to walk over and kind of same thing, like slowly crack it open with my thing at the ready to throw at it and then run away. I look at the other two. I'm like, we're sprinting when we throw this thing, okay?
This one?
And I kind of
One down
open.
here?
Wait, was it this
Oh,
door or
this
this door?
Yeah, this one here.
Okay, I would like to
No.
crack it open and see if I notice anything. I hate it here. I hate it here so much. Okay.
I do too. That's why I say we should leave.
I just wanna test. I need to know if they're like can be physically
There's
touched or
heavy
not.
pounding.
Again?
Yep.
Okay, I stand back. I tell
Oh my god!
Izuto,
Give me the stupid. Fine,
Izuto,
fine.
crack it open, baby.
I crack it open and make a paperweight out of my sand so I can actually take it back and like be very gentle in the throwing aspect of it when I do try to go for this.
Yo, I say screw
Okay.
it, and I open
Great.
this door below me. I'm just opening doors now.
Okay. Great. Okay. Can you sidetrack by trying to throw paperweights at ghosts? Is there anything we wanted to examine in here while we're here?
I'm good. Okay. Arata wanted to examine the bodies was part of the reason he wanted to come here. But then
I did want to come here, so.
I also wanted to check the pond, which we did, and we found the little sneaky hiding spot. So I think I don't know. We'll figure that out in a
Make
second.
a perception check.
Me?
Yeah.
There should be a sanity check for me in this building.
Don't
There are
pass.
sanity mechanics in other versions of D&D.
I think those can get pretty interesting. We say perception.
Yeah.
Perception's so
Well, you
bad,
could.
and it's
Oh.
worse.
A blessing in disguise. All right, you're good.
All right. I suppose I kind of walk out
Ignorance is
disappointed.
bliss.
I kind of open the kitchen door to see if I see anything. I know it's like technically visible. Can we see through this actually, or is this just because there's no wall here?
My canon is that the kitchen doors were open when you guys came there, and they've stayed open since.
Okay, gotcha. I suppose I keep walking, and I'm like, okay, next time we see a thing, and I set the paperweight back on the table where I found it. Next time we see a thing, someone throw something at it, okay? We need to know if they're physical or not. I think that's important.
What were the weights of these pillows again?
Top one was definitely Mizukage. It was the
120,
lightest.
130.
This
Right
one was
is
the heavy one.
170, 180.
And this
is
was the middle.
140, 150.
140, 150.
And we know that this, if they were arranged how they should have been, this would
Yeah,
be
that's
a
the
kind
curve,
of friendish. This would be Sheena if she was there, and this would be random person we don't know, which also makes sense since it was poisoned. Because he would have been like,
Okay.
"Here's my solution." Can I actually sniff for the antidote? Can I find the antidote somewhere? Because I kind of want to use his trick.
Based on what Sheena said, he carries the antidote with him.
God damn it!
You didn't discover it in your search of the house.
Did I smell it in his bedroom bubble?
You didn't know what it smelled like.
Oh, dang it.
So
Yeah.
it wasn't obvious if
Okay.
it was there.
Okay. I'm good then. I'm good to keep on going. We could wash these dishes. Do we want to wash these dishes?
Actually, yeah.
And Mike, it was good standing with the ghost, like unironically.
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to. I guess we could all grab a bowl
Yeah, we all
if we're
grab
down.
a bowl.
And then is there
You
some kind
have
of?
not been to the crime scene investigation school.
I did actually take
Yeah.
a forensics class, so didn't want to touch it, but it's too late now.
Yeah, at this
Okay.
point.
I
At
feel
this
like the
point.
moment-
Grab all 3 bowls and wash them in the kitchen.
Okay.
I feel like the moment one of the
The moment a blood
dead
demon appeared.
suspects, the moment one of the dead suspects got an
Ate a
unhinged
corpse.
snake-like jaw and absorbed one.
I feel like at that point it's kind of like,
I guess so. I
Maybe
guess-
normal forensic rules don't apply.
Maybe so.
All right. Well, maybe they'll appreciate that.
Yeah, or maybe we just threw away our biggest piece of evidence. Either.
Well, we know it was there.
Going first through this door down here.
I
I think I don't want to, but
Yeah.
I think I'd be going since they like me.
Well, do you want to, Izuto?
Yes, I will be going first.
I ready a kunai.
Okay, who goes next?
Fuck off.
Me.
I'm holding my kunai, waiting to throw it just through this door.
Who's next?
Oh, god damn
Man,
it!
come on through.
I don't know if I'd let Than walk through without. I mean, me and Than would kind of walk through simultaneously. I don't think I would.
Come on.
Or is this door only wide enough for one person?
No, it's good enough for two.
Okay, then yeah, we would definitely walk through simultaneously.
Sure. So Arata, you feel a hand on your shoulder, and Than yelps.
Right behind us.
Yep.
I turn around where I feel the hand and just chunk the kunai.
The kunai
as fast
embeds
as I can.
itself on the northern wall of the room there.
Do I have to roll an ammunition? Do I have to roll an ammunition die for that?
Arata, why are you hurting the walls?
Listen, okay, I'm feeling things. There's hands touching me, and I just want to know if it's real, and I can't. I just don't understand what's going on.
If I trust anybody's 5 senses, I'll go ahead and trust Arata's. If he said something touched him, it probably did.
Well, I'm gonna.
All right, let's keep walking. I ready another kunai.
Yeah, I just have my iron rose constantly on hand.
All right, what do you guys like to do?
Yeah, I would like to get out of dodge.
Yeah,
you know
we
what I mean?
can leave. Question: do I need to lower my kunai stack for that? What are we calling that?
Do you want to try and go back and get it?
What's your stack at? D8, D6?
It's been D8. It hasn't gone down yet.
You're good.
Okay. I was like, because I've only had the one stack and it has yet to go down. Cool. In that case,
Where do
let's
we have
dip.
left to go?
Okay, we have the options of, I guess, either going and talking to like the different clans again, but I don't really know what that would do for us, or talking to Gina, and trying to just learn about her, figuring out if she has fire jutsu of any kind, because that would be interesting.
Yeah, I would also like to ask. I would also like to ask what type of shoe the Mizukage wears, so we can knock his out of the list.
I love Minno's shoes. I mean, I guess it's fair if we find someone wearing.
I can make a strong assumption that it's not the Gita
Not
or the
the-
Zori, and it's probably just the rice straw sandal. But I would like to know for sure.
Yeah, that's valid. So
Wasn't there somewhere else to visit too?
We only learned about the temple and the council place that we went with Gina.
Okay.
What would you guys like to do?
Guess let's go back to Sheena first, huh?
I don't know what we're missing, and I'm so frustrated.
Why do you think you're missing something? That could have been all there was.
That would also frustrate me. So either way.
You also need to talk to her. You also need to talk to her about the singing fish. Excuse me.
Yeah, I think. Like I said,
Just to let you know, Arata,
yeah.
when I tell you what you guys missed, you're gonna be so pissed.
I hate you. I hate you with a passion, Hudson.
You didn't even miss anything.
Yeah.
Bro, anything on top of this roof, be honest with me. Anything on top of this house.
There's a Jonine on top of it this whole time. Just
I literally don't say that. Don't say that.
Joni.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't.
Rooftop
This isn't a
Joni.
joke. This isn't a joke because I don't trust that guy. I don't trust that guy with a lick of anything. Okay, I would murder that guy in cold blood. Wouldn't think twice. Okay.
And I hope he ends up being Ratafusi.
That'd be so sick actually. Okay, let me write down to ask this in our like session debrief way in the future what the hell we missed if we don't get that sooner.
All right. Well, all right. So where are you going? You're headed back to Sheena, right?
Yeah.
More than likely.
Fuck you.
Damn.
No, we don't have all day, Arata.
And I mean that with love, and I mean that with love and affection, Hudson. Just so we're clear. Ugh.
You head straight back to Sheena with Arata just this thing in the back of his head that thinks he missed something big.
When we got back, the body was gone that was originally there by the apparition.
Oh yeah.
It was gone.
Oh yeah. It was very gone.
Are you saying the
Very-
body that was eaten? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I was asking if it was eaten.
Okay.
Yep, there were 3 corpses that you guys saw of Anbu. There were only 2 when you.
Actually, while we're leaving that place, because I'm assuming the Anbu are still on guard of the house. Can I ask them if they've seen any ghosts or anything like that around there? Any apparitions?
All right, they don't answer you verbally, but he will shake his head no.
All right, I'll take that. I want to go murder the man on the roof.
Back to the temple. All right, you guys return to Sheena.
Sheena, I keep calling her Gina.
She says she looks a little bit surprised. She says, "Hi, I didn't expect you back so soon."
Yeah, neither did we.
Or a suspect?
Not necessarily, but we have a few things. One quick question: did the Mizukage live under the pool or the pond, or sleep under there rather?
I never asked him. I know that he did not sleep in any of the beds. However, I never asked him where he went at night to rest.
Okay. Cool. I'm gonna let y'all ask questions, because I don't want to question her off rip, because I feel like that would come off as weirdly suspicious. So.
Okay. With the
Shoes that were at the place, we're just trying to kind of wind it down.
what shoes would have the Mizukage have worn? I'm guessing it would be the Waraji.
Yes, he wore those almost exclusively.
Okay. As far as the apparitions go, did his family, when they died, and that whole story, were there a lot of young females, like girls?
There were a mixture of genders. However, it would be fair to say that he felt most betrayed by his sister and his aunt. They turned against him after they defeated some of the others. Yeah, there's a mixture.
Right. Were his aunts and or
Sister, the kind of it's a good way to put this.
Yeah, how you gonna word this one, Chief?
Were they a bit dirty-minded? That's where to put that. No, but I don't know.
She tilts her head. She says, "I'm not sure what you mean. Dirty-minded? Like."
Yeah, no, I see that. You know what? Just ignore that question. For the apparitions that is the myth that all of them are female?
No, the myth is that all the spirits of his family, whom he slain or died at that place, haunt it. There's no mention of gender.
Interesting. As for the water spirit that is held here or summoned here, does he come out for anything that's not the Mizukage ceremony? Could we converse with him?
There is a summoning ritual involved, an offering that has to take place. In theory, it could be summoned at any time, but in practice, it's only summoned in great need. It's a very benevolent being, but we don't wish to stretch its benevolence any further than we need.
I agree. Why is it difficult in practice?
Well, it takes some time to prepare the summoning. It requires specific materials, a specific type of offering. But I mean, that's not the issue. The issue is that we don't want to disturb its rest more frequently than we need to.
Of course. All right. You were adopted. Were you part of any clan that belongs here to the Hidden Mist?
You're adopted.
Pardon, and she says, "I was an orphan."
Hey, me too. Me too. Hey, same.
Dabs her up.
Hey, I tries to dap her up. Yeah, I was also, I wasn't as lucky as to find a family that adopted me, but I am also an orphan. I know it gets lonely out there. I was
I love
Yeah,
the
sorry.
Mizukage. I would not betray him if that's what you're thinking.
No, I don't. I actually don't think that. I think you're probably the only person in this land that
we can trust, bro.
has good intentions.
She shrugs and says, "I merely do what the Mizukage wishes. And in his absence, I try to think of what he would do and do it."
Well, Sheena, we have kind of looked around. We talked to some people at the temple, tried to get in contact with one of the high monks with a few questions. Would you happen to have any ideas on where else to look? Extra locations or anything like that? I literally want to just sit at the house and investigate for 24 hours straight.
She says, like I said, I lost track of whatever being attacked us in the city streets.
Do you
I
know
would
what-
imagine someone like you, who is a tracker, would have more knowledge on that than I would.
Do you know what direction it was going?
It was headed north, but that doesn't really mean anything. It could have circled back around, for all I know.
Is there anything north of importance? Or, I mean, I know it could have circled back around, but, like, would there be anything it would be going towards? Or, like, it could have been literally anything?
The whole island is to the north. It could have been anywhere.
Okay, fair enough. I am gonna lose my goddamn mind. Okay,
If you haven't already, I'd
lost my
recommend
mind?
reporting to one of the clans that you agreed to help, or whichever clan you agreed to help.
I know, I
I
didn't...
understand that they were the ones who told me to that you were coming in the first place.
I just didn't want to talk to them until we had some kind of harder evidence, but it might not be a bad idea. Alright, well, I appreciate it.
If you may be able to take the opportunity to question some of them if you suspect them.
I see.
Yeah.
I guess that's I'm okay with talking to the clan people.
Alright, yeah. Well, thank you, Sheena. Hopefully,
Did you want to ask her about her abilities? Did we do that?
we did. Well, we asked about the clan and everything.
Right. Okay.
Well, hopefully when we come back, I would imagine next time we come back, it should only be with actual evidence.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say that. Like I said, I'm happy to help. It's just I hope you're using your time wisely, is all.
Same. All right. Well, we shall talk to you later, Sheena.
All right. Where would you guys like to go?
Do we want to switch up the order or go with the same?
Do what? Oh well. Oh yeah. Are we splitting up again? I guess.
Yeah. Do we want to split up?
I guess we don't have to.
If you
Yeah.
split up, it'll be a bit. I mean, so both of they're in different directions, so it would take some time to meet up again if you were to split up.
I still think we should split up because it shows unbiasedness.
Yeah.
But I think maybe I don't know if we keep the same team to the same clan or switch it up.
I mean, we're gonna visit each. So, I mean, does it really show bias?
If you visit
They're
one
both getting the
first, they
same
could.
treatment.
Yeah, but it gets biased on who we like asked first.
Yeah. Who you talk to?
Because we would have met with both of them regardless, but when we split up, they were both acknowledging the fact that
we
were
split up and
even
they appreciated
and
that.
split up.
Yeah. Yeah. I think we should split up. It'll also be faster, just objectively. And we don't know what our clock is right now, but there is a clock, so we definitely need to.
Or ought to go deal with the people who, the poison mist people.
I don't know if I think switching.
I think we can switch it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let each person get a different perspective, because I mean,
I
the
just
people might
figured-
respect Inuzuka for being like a
Out
fighting
of the
clan.
three of us, Arata's the
Okay.
best with politics,
Good luck, Hudson.
and that clan deals with politics.
Yes, but I think
Easy
I mean,
and I are.
yes, you are correct, but she knows this about me because I kind of acknowledged that and I appreciated that, and I think it would be good for us to like get to talk to both sides. 'Cause I think it's good for me to like. It would be good for Arata to go to that clan and be like, hey, even though this is the clan that like I don't trust because they're very like war driven, it would be good for me to talk to them. I also know that style because that's literally how my father tried to raise me. So it would be up my alley to like know how to handle that and deal with that.
Okay.
I mean, I can go to the futon by myself if you wanna. If you have specific questions for.
That's true. If you want to
Hoshigaki
ask
guy.
them something.
That's fine.
I'm back.
Just go.
All right, I think we're gonna flip it, and I'm gonna go to Hoshigaki, and they're gonna go to
Yeah.
Futon.
Okay. Who would you guys like first?
Arata, before we go,
Yes.
just keep an eye on, any weird.
Shoes.
Okay.
No, if
wait,
the guy,
what type
if the
of
guy
shoes are we
wore
looking for?
Getta's or Zori's, I'd imagine Zori's going to be futon, and Getta is going to be the shark guy if they are wearing them. Those style shoes.
Okay, and then what all info are we mentioning? Are we mentioning ghosts? First question.
Yeah.
Okay, are we
We
mentioning
mentioned
blood?
ghosts, everybody.
Are we mentioning blood god?
Yes.
Okay. Next question. Are we talking about? I don't really care about asking about the knife. Honestly, I won't even mention that 'cause I don't care. The poison also wouldn't matter because we know that was the Mizukage's.
Oh, any hair loss from anybody? Weird hair loss.
Ooh, good call.
Ah.
Hair loss.
Okay. So asking if anyone got like has
Get
a
everyone's
little
hair and see if they're wearing wigs.
Correct.
Don't tempt me. Can I smell
Ne-
wig?
Needle Jizo is a jutsu that uses hair. So
I wanna sniff
theoretically.
for fake hair.
You would know.
Okay, yeah. So I think ghost was really the only question because besides that, I don't think anything else is important to ask them.
Ghosts, and then just random.
See
politics
if anyone
stuff.
has claw weapons, anything of that nature. I think that could also matter if they use iron claws or anything like that. I think that's it. All right, cool. I think we're ready to split. On a 1, I'll go first. On a 2, they'll go first. They'll go first.
You go first.
So you are, where are you headed?
We're going to the futon, people.
All right, and who's going there?
I am going there. Suiko, are you going there or?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
It's the Misty Castle. All right, so Rod and Than are not there.
No,
It
and I
is-
definitely would have given them like the lowdown of like, hey, this is the place, these are the people.
Sure. Yeah. There you go. Bhutan Amari greets you. She gives you a little bow. She says, "I expect that you two are the other members of your Land of Fire team. I met your compatriots earlier. Did you investigate the estate? That was what I discussed with Mr. Arata.
Yes, we have
That's
discussed
me.
the estate with Mr. Arata.
Have you found any evidence against the Hoshigaki?
We haven't found evidence against either clan, really. Not particularly the Hoshigaki. Can I take a glance down at her little toes and see what she's doing? In not as creepy of a way as I said it.
Very subtle, very subtle. Just
Very
for
subtle.
make a sleight of hand check.
Oh,
Just-
God.
You made it weird. You made it weird. You
Dude,
deserve this.
No,
you deserve
because I was
this.
thinking about the clips where the dude is like holding his phone and he like takes
And
wants to
they
take
lean
a
up,
picture
take
of
the
girl's
picture?
feet with the
Yes.
flashes on.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I should have had Suiko do this.
Baby, that's a natural default.
Oh.
Suiko, you watch him, like as Izuto, he like stretches like really conspicuously and then like stares at her feet for a couple of seconds.
Okay, I want to point out that my rolls have either been like 20 plus or 5 below.
Yeah, it does seem to go that way.
That's so funny.
I hit Izuko on the back of the head.
She looks like confused and then a little bit offended as you like keep staring, and she like steps back. She says, "What are you doing?"
Sorry, I have a girl back in the hidden leaf. Her shoes are
no.
kind of worn out. I was seeing
Good cover. Good
what
cover.
you seem like a very fashionable lady, and I was seeing what shoes you wear for both
that's so
combat
bad.
and politics.
Okay. You can make a persuasion check real quick. Well, actually, this would be deception. I guess it probably doesn't matter for you.
What can I can't say anything.
In addition, the shoes that you saw her wearing were high platform Geta sandals, not too dissimilar to Sheena's. a little bit more fancy though.
I really want to tell them to ask if anyone
with a
in
15,
anyone in the
she
village
nods
knows.
slowly and says, I have a good shoemaker. I can put you in contact if you need
That's so funny.
good sandals. I'm sure your girl back home would appreciate them.
Yes, of course. Thank you.
So slick. So slick.
Anyway, how much?
Hang on.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm just kidding. I did not say that.
Really the person to send on this delicate.
Did not say that.
I goddamn Colorado.
I know better. Yeah. So
This is what happens when I leave.
We went to the estate. Have you guys heard of any apparitions of the Mizukage's family?
She sniffs and says, that was just a rumor from what I understand. But with the Mizukage, it's foolish to rule anything out. It wouldn't surprise me if he somehow had yokai that were able to spawn in the event of certain, well, tragedies, I suppose. Unpredicted events.
Right. With the yokai here, Land of Fire is a bit weird. Even Land of Wind, they don't say this. Anything pertaining to, I don't know, blood gods or things of that nature.
Blood. Well, there's the demon in the mist. It's sometimes referred to as the blood demon. That's an old child's tale, though. I don't think anyone takes that seriously. It's never been seen, or, well, sometimes people attempt to use it as an excuse for running away from certain missions.
I see. Well,
there's never been any credible sighting, though.
Yeah, recently a lot of myths have come to light as being true, so we're just ruling out all the possibilities.
Just because dragons exist doesn't mean that every little thing made up to scare a child is real.
Right, of course. Dragons are a lot more believable than ghosts anyway. So weird thing. What was your... I know the relationship here is very power-driven. Suiko, you can interrupt me at any time. I'm slowly running out of questions and drowning. And, I know your relation here is very power-based. What was your relationship with the Mizukage like, at least recently?
Well, I think that's a rather crass way of putting it. We had a relationship of mutual respect. Our clan is one of the pillars that holds up the Land of Mist, and he was the figurehead of that pillar, so to speak. He aligned more closely with our clan than he did most others.
He aligned with your clan more than most others?
She nods. He respected our both our ability to get the job done and our subtlety, our finesse.
You guys look like very handable, capable shinobi, especially that guy over there with the scythe.
The Jonin there nods. He says, Amari is a wonderful leader, and she will serve as the Mizukage far better than that Hoshigaki scum. And he sort of like takes his scythe and he starts like sharpening it a little bit.
I see. What was Lily again? Lily wasn't futon. Lily was the other. It was like the wisp thing. It wasn't the boiling.
She was Scorch, which that's a Land of Wind and not a Land of Mist.
Yeah.
It's not Lily. Lily is not the culprit here. Izuto.
Hey, never rule anything out, okay? Anyway. Okay. Is there any prominent, like fire release ninja in the Land of, Waves?
Good question.
Amari's about to answer, and then Pacton, the Jonin there, he looks a little concerned. He says, "Why are you asking?"
We're wondering because there were scorch marks near like the bottom right of the estate, and we were wondering if that was just a little trial and error by the Mizukage for some reason or other. Or, a fight maybe went down there.
You can make an insight check, Izuto, real quick. I suppose Suiko can too. She's there as well. I guess Suiko is she's the one who's more observing at this point. So yeah, you guys can both make insight checks. Oh,
Put that
14.
14, 9.
Yeah, Suiko, you see both Pacton and Amari look a little bit uncomfortable there at this line of questioning. Amari puts a hand up and she says, "The reason my subordinate here is suspicious of this question is that he himself is quite a skilled user of the fire release, which is uncommon in our lands. And myself and my clan, we are known to use fire release, or at least practice it in the service of our boil release techniques and our corrosion techniques. If you saw scorch marks, I can only assume that they were planted as a way to frame us for the Hoshigaki's deeds."
Yeah, that seems like a very we thought about this too. Don't worry, I'm not accusing anybody.
He's
I
lying out of
was
his
just curious
ass.
if there was any popular one. The scorch marks especially would be very, very easy to frame, you know. So no worries on that. I'm not picking a side or blaming you guys or anything. It's just
Hear that.
interesting. What's up?
I'm glad to hear that, although I've been hearing an awful lot of questions and not a whole lot of answers. What is your role here? I thought that Arata and Mr. Arata, had a bit of an understanding.
As opposed to what exactly?
She sort of tilts her head and she says, "Well, maybe I misunderstood."
No, I look at Suiko and then I look at Amari and I'm like, trust me, we're a bit forgetful. He is and I'm trying to put Arata on a stand here so she can get so you can be like, oh, these are just idiots. I don't know what they're talking about, and he is obviously a big 5-head guy. Listen, she
Go Rada.
is kind of the muscle. You can see that she doesn't carry very heavy weapons or anything. I'm just the ninjutsu guy. Arata's kind of like the head of the team, so to speak. So if he did say something, we're not
Then why is he here to speak with me?
we thought of keeping diplomacies even, so he was sent to the Hoshigaki in our place that it was last time. I do believe that you guys reached. Sorry, was you gonna say something?
Yeah, she raises up a hand. She says, "It's all right. I understand. When you see Arata next, tell him I appreciate his gambit, but it will not serve him well at the negotiating table. He needs me more than I need him. You should remind him of that."
My gambit.
Will do. I'll try not to forget.
Okay.
To be clear, it's pretty obvious she is not buying the "these are idiots" act.
Yeah, no, I got that. I'm trying to figure out what
this gambit?
what she told Arata that I fuck up on. I don't remember anything of importance. I was also eating dinner, so I don't remember. Okay. Sure.
You sure, Hudson? It's a pretty genuine act from us.
Yeah, I genuinely don't remember. I don't have to roll deception. I'm maybe rolling persuasion here.
I mean, I don't think that you necessarily would know. Yeah, I'm not gonna have you roll anything. I think your reactions are legitimate.
Wait, I know I'm not
considering
here for this, but what is happening? I'm kind of lost, or is everyone lost?
Yeah, I'm not here.
Yeah, we're all lost. We only came here with two
I'm
questions
sure it's
prepared.
some sort of thing of help us out, little nudge wink wink situation.
Okay, that's okay.
That's
I'll be
what I'm
quiet. I was
thinking.
just trying to clarify because I was a little lost trying to understand, so I'll let it ride.
Right. Tell you what, she bought the "we're smart" act. Get fucked. It's reverse psychology. Yeah, I'll go ahead and tell him. Again, not sure exactly what you mean, but whatever.
It's all right. I'm sure Arata will understand.
I'm sure he will.
In the meantime, if you're able to contact him, I have a mission for you and your team. If you're willing to partake in it.
I'm willing to listen to it. Yes.
She says, well, I would really need Arata to be here for this, but I suppose I can tell you the basics.
Yeah.
There's to be a duel in 3 days' time between myself
My eyes lit up.
between myself and the Hoshigaki clan leader.
My eyes get dull.
Excuse me.
However, I am interested in employing a tactic during this duel. To do that, I require the assistance of one of the mist swordsmen, or in this case, swordswoman. She's currently training in one of the northern forests. It would be difficult for my group to track her down in time. However, I know that the Inuzuka clan has famous tracking abilities, in particular in relation to smell. And she takes out a little piece of fabric. She says, this piece of fabric has the scent of the individual we're trying to find. All we would need to do is for you to approach this individual and tell them that I wish to speak to them and where I am. And
I see.
Accomplished.
Yeah, I see why Arata would be needed for this. Yeah, we will. We will let him know about that.
What's the purpose of this duel again?
She looks over at you, Suiko, and says, to determine who is to be the next Mizukage, of course.
Checks out. I quite like your land, Amari. I know we had a little rough patch there.
Your guys' philosophy
Fucking
is
Izuto, bro.
something that I love personally. You guys know how to do it here.
As you say this, Izuto, a bunch of rainwater slips through your iron umbrella and splashes on you.
I immediately stop wherever that water landed. I am immediately stopped, and I'm focusing on the iron umbrella.
Great.
I like your land's philosophy. I hate your land's water, though.
Right.
She smiles and says, it's a difficult thing to grow accustomed to, is what I understand.
Great. Okay. Well, we wasted enough of your time, so I think we're done. Ready, Zuto?
So does Paxton like to fight, or
Oh my god.
is he like a backwards guy?
She says, Pacton is, I would call him my right hand. He has served me faithfully for many years. He is a capable fighter. Yes.
I see. Does he enjoy it, though? That's the question.
Pacton looks over at you and just sort of grins somewhat maliciously.
I am grinning maliciously back at him.
He says, yes, I enjoy it.
This is what happens when Arata's not around.
Well,
Hey.
I have.
Goodbye, Marty.
I will.
Thank you for your information.
She is dragging me by one arm, but I'm just maliciously looking at Paxton, going like, I like where this is going. You and me are going to have to tussle at some point.
I don't. Let's go.
All right, fine.
All right.
Would you say our goodbyes diplomatically?
I don't think you do. No.
I don't think Suiko lets me. Fair.
I think you're dragged away. Anything else you guys like to do there, or should we move over to Arata?
Okay.
No, I think for me that's everything I want to.
Those scorch marks that we found, I don't suppose we were able to tell if they were made by Jutsu, right?
We never found any scorch marks.
Oh.
Yeah,
Well,
I was just seeing if I was just wanting to look at their faces when I said that.
Okay.
If they'd be like, that's bullshit.
So.
And they got a little nervous. They got a little, hot and bothered.
Okay, hold on. Rearranging my notes. We can move on to Arata.
Yeah. Scorch marks did not exist. I was just seeing what they would.
You gotta be careful, Izuto. You're gonna fool your teammates here.
Yeah, I didn't plan for that.
I respected the lie.
I was
What's
trying
up?
to find it.
I said I respected the lie. I thought it was
Yeah,
a good.
I was just trying to see what they would look like.
If I said it.
So, as you approach, actually, Metafusa's not here right now.
Dang it.
Arata, you head into the area here, joining Hoshigaki Drakama at his war table.
Mhm.
I will be right back. I'm gonna go use the restroom.
Sure. He looks over at you, looking fairly disappointed. He says, Where's the rest of your team? Where's the tattoo boy and the tough girl?
Well, we figured it would be better if we kept it, diplomatically even, giving everyone their fair shot to talk to everybody. So we decided to flip who we talked to.
He snorts and says, "Yeah, listen, kid. Neutrality isn't gonna get you It's not gonna help you much in the end here. Could toe the line to the end, and you'll still end up on somebody's bad side. Got to throw in early. That's a smart thing to do."
Listen, I'm down to end up on someone's bad side as long as it's the person I should be fighting.
He shrugs and says, "Yeah, whatever. What do you want, kid?"
God, I hate this. I hate this because it's like my dad. Okay. I guess is there a like seat at the table?
They're all currently being occupied.
God, I hate it here. Okay.
I guess he would have stood up to like greet you, and now that he's greeted you, he's sat back down.
He sat back down. Oh, dude, he's gonna like power play me. It's gonna be so annoying. Okay. All right. I kind of, dude. There's a way to not awkwardly do this. Okay. I walk up, approaching with Than by my side per usual. And I kind of start telling of what we have seen going through, talking to him. Just like, yeah, well, we investigated the estate, kind of trying to, get a hint of what's going on, get an idea. As I'm doing this, I would like to check out his shoes.
Futon's wrongdoing?
Do what?
Have you found proof of the Futon's wrongdoing yet?
Well, we have found a few different pieces of evidence, but we're trying to make sure that we know what we're looking at before we accuse anybody of anything. As I'm doing this, I would like to look at his shoes. Since we're running this gambit here, was this sleight of hand?
Yeah, sleight of hand.
All right, at least I think I'm good at that.
It's okay. You can say that you have a boyfriend at home that you're shopping for.
True.
Yeah, a buff boyfriend.
I'll use my...
So you are, and he's not as observant in any case. So you do get a good look at his shoes. He wears, check here. He has, first of all, he has very large feet. He's a big dude, and he has very large feet. He wears waraji, which are the rice straw rope sandals. They look pretty muddy and worn.
Okay, so he hasn't replaced them recently.
You don't get that sense, no.
Okay, noted. But yeah, so we've taken in some evidence, but a few weird things have been going on, and I needed to ask you a question, or a couple questions. First off, when it comes to this land, I know there's a bunch of rumors and stuff about apparitions and ghosts, especially involving the Mizukage's household and estate. Do you have any info on that?
He snorts and says, yeah, I mean, that sounds like the sort of thing the Mizukage would do. Man rules by fear. That's sort of his thing. So, of course, he has all these little rumors and little tidbits spreading around. I wouldn't worry about it, though. They're almost certainly not true.
Okay, so none of y'all have ever even encountered anything near the sort?
Well, I mean, we encounter yokai, but those are just, beings coming from unnatural energy. That's all. There's no such thing as a spirit or a ghost.
That's fair. Well, a couple other questions. One, do you happen to know of anyone in the land in particular, whether of this clan or other clans, that happens to be pretty proficient in fire release? I know he's going to blame the fucking futon.
He frowns and says, oh yeah, the Futon clan, they specialize in this stuff. It's really unnatural if you think about it. You know, most of the mist Chunin and Jonin, they are good at water release, but here you have one clan that they just insist on being more flashy. They think they're too good for good old-fashioned water release, and there you go. Yep, Futon clan. They got a bunch of fire release jutsu. That's what they specialize in. You found some fire release evidence at the place?
Well, we found a few fire marks and such kind of surrounding the area, but they were tiny marks, so we didn't know if they happened to do with jutsus or if they happened to do with just messing with fire and fire spreading to places they shouldn't. It was nothing convincing, but...
That's all.
Say that again.
I bet they didn't have time to clean everything up. The Anbu got in pretty fast, from what I understand.
Well, that is definitely a valid option. It could be something.
You should really bring this to Sheena. I mean, she's the gal who needs to know about this.
Oh yes, we are. Trust me, we are in deep talks with Sheena as well.
Better then. You have a good relationship with her. It's a nice, good rapport.
Yeah, she does. She does seem to have a pretty good head on her shoulders, and
Perfect. So listen, I have a little bit of a job for you and your folks. I was hoping that you go and talk to Sheena and have her attend this. There's going to be a big duel in 3 days. I want you to get her to attend it.
okay.
Personal.
And can you tell me why exactly?
He frowns and says, "'Cause I asked you to." Listen, Arata, I don't know what your friends told you, but I thought we were on the same page here.
About?
You know, who should come out ahead in this whole deal? It's pretty obvious, I think, who the Sparrows are with, and they're your enemies, right? You're not going to side with the futon, which leaves you with, and he points with big 2 thumbs back at himself.
These are toast parents.
And as as he's doing this, I just kind of like roll my eyes, annoyed because I've dealt with this behavior amongst my clan and stuff, and I very much get annoyed by this. I look over and I say, "Look, I am more than okay with helping one out and helping push one way, since to be honest, we don't have a whole lot of evidence pointing your way. But I would like some reasoning, because I don't know how my teammates spoke with you, but I do run on logic, reasoning, and info, not just doing things because you want me to."
He snorts and says, all right, whatever. I need her there to make sure that the duel is counted as legitimate. I don't have to beat the lady and then have her say I cheated or nothing like that. I want Sheena there as an observer. The other ninja listen to her.
Okay, so you want her there to keep it more of a fair match?
Well, to make sure that they abide by the outcome. I think we all know how that match is going to go down. And he sort of flexes a little bit.
Mm-hmm. I kind of scoff and mumble under my breath, "Just one drop of poison is all it would take." But I kind of
look. By the way, he has a beautiful head of hair.
Yeah. I was gonna get to that.
I want to be this guy, dude.
Does it look like a wig? look pretty natural.
Make a perception check if you want.
I mean, I don't want to waste my nat 20 that's going to come from this perception check here.
You're wasting your nat 1.
Yeah, we're wasting your high rolls at least.
Yeah.
No, it looks all natural, baby.
All right.
Very little, very light conditioner and shampoo and whatnot. It's a wonderful, beautiful head of hair.
Well, as he gives me this info, I do kind of gain a little respect for him, and I say, well, I will definitely help you with that, because I do respect those that want things fair and want things held by the rules and follow guidelines.
He looks at you like you're speaking another language, and he says, "Yeah, sure, kid. You be sure to tell your friends that, okay?"
Mm-hmm. So, just last question, and then I will leave you be and go along my way. Do you happen to know of anyone that has a pretty feral style of attack, in the sense of maybe kind of using claw weapons or being almost bestial in the way they fight?
He frowns, actually like taking you seriously for a moment. This is sort of the question that would actually kind of interest him.
Yeah, being fighting style.
And he says, big claws, not so much. We go for swords more commonly. I think that there are a few genin that use like claw-like weapons, usually with chains.
Mm-hmm.
That's about the limit, though. Not a whole lot of upper guys who use claws, that for what I understand. Certainly nothing too big. If they would, it would be like small little claws that they use for like unarmed sorts of things, not like as a weapon itself, or as a supplement.
Okay, fair enough. Well, in that case, that is pretty much about all I had to ask. Excuse me. Any info that you would like to leave me with before I head on out and talk to my teammates?
He says, The only info you should care about is what we can use against the futon. They're your enemy, kid. They're my enemy. We gotta work together on this.
Oh, my enemy is decided by facts and not assumptions. But, you know, it'll come out.
Funny, I always heard you Inazuka were wise folk. Guess I might have been misled. That's okay there. You'll get there on your own, I suppose. I'm sure the facts will prove my way, because, truth comes out, right? He gives you a wink.
Mm-hmm. I suppose so. And I kind of step up to give him a handshake before I leave.
Dave looks at you for a second and reluctantly shakes your hand.
All right. Well, I will be on my way, and I'll let you know if I get any word from Sheena, if she can attend or not. As I'm leaving, I kind of just want to look around the room and see if I see anyone that's bald or balding or anything of the nature.
All right, you can make another perception check.
16's all day, baby.
3 in a row. Yeah, so you do see a few tuning that are bald. You get the sense it doesn't. There's no like obvious. Like when a person shaves their head or whatever. It's kind of obvious.
Yes.
Like this by the skin tone and stuff like that. You get the sense that these guys have all been bald for a while. Like it's just their choice, their personal choice or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah. No obvious evidence of rat weed poisoning in anyone here.
Yeah, I didn't want to ask if anyone was sick because I felt too suspicious. I will go ahead and take my leave on that. Also, how long was my chat with him? I probably should have said this before, but I was I'm wanting
Probably also 10 minutes or so.
Okay, because I'm wanting to start working on possibly being able to use false faces if it comes to. And so I was kind of like studying him in those 10 minutes of just kind of getting an idea. Because I have to technically study someone for like an hour
Sure.
to be able to use it.
As you head out, Arata, to the exit here, you see a little stone getting thrown, and it just sort of like lands right next to you from this direction.
It's like from the water.
Yeah.
Okay, I turn to the water. Do I see anything?
Make a perception check.
16. Imagine.
Yeah, I mean, 15's still bad. Yeah, you see like a little you see something in the water. You're not entirely sure what. It's like a little thing sticking out.
Alright. I kind of turn around to look at Drachma. Is he just talking with his boys at the table?
No, he hasn't noticed.
Okay. I will go investigate then, I suppose, and kind of walk by, not necessarily being sneaky, but making sure not to draw attention to myself either.
You're just grabbing some water before you leave.
Of course, exactly. So I guess I'll walk up to the edge here and kind of look in.
All right. Matafusa's watery face sort of bubbles up, and he reaches out a hand, a big watery hand, and hands you a letter.
Okay, I will take it.
He says, I was kind of hoping that I'd see Izuto here, but seeing as you're the guy, I suppose this goes to you. Best of luck with it. I don't know who gave it to me. I read it. I don't know what to say about it. I haven't told anyone, though. I feel like I owe Izuto that much.
Okay, well, I appreciate it, Matafusa. Good to see you, by the way.
He grins ferally and says, yeah, sure. Best of luck. And he sinks back into the water.
All right, well, thanks. And I obviously do not read it now. I kind of shove it in my pocket, making sure that it is, or into my bag, in my pouch. Trying to hide it away as fast as possible, and then walk out without making a scene and just kind of start leaving. Okay. As soon as I get like out of range of this cave, a decent amount, I would definitely open it up and read it though.
Oh, okay. Sure, I will read that for you then.
It's just a letter I sent to the monk.
That'd be so funny. They just wrapped it back to you.
Yeah. There's like, I go to Izuto.
It is not. However, here, I'm going to go ahead and paste it in the Discord.
Okay. Dun, 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 dun.
Pull it up here.
Bum, 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 bum.
I'll read it out loud, just for folks at home. Where's
Content build, love it.
Yes, sir.
information about the sparrows? I don't trust the mist due to the ongoing conflict. I will only meet with the leaf emissaries. I will watch the old marsh temple. Oh, this should be the what did I call it? I didn't call it that. I changed the name.
The temple that we were at earlier.
Yeah, the temple you were at earlier.
Okay.
I can't remember what I changed the name to. For their arrival. If I'm satisfied they came alone, I will reveal myself. If I suspect a trap, I will disappear. If they do not come in a timely manner, I will disappear.
Reading this, I immediately sprint back to our meeting place for the other two. And then if they're not there, I want to try to like catch up to where they would be walking.
Where were you guys planning on meeting? Like basically on both sides is the two hideouts in the city. The village in the mist is hidden in the middle.
Then probably
So
the
you
village.
Imagine we would just meet at the seashell place, right?
Yeah, probably whatever's the most centered, which would probably be like the kind of seashell place out of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that would be a logical place to just set a meeting.
Yeah.
Arata, you do not find them there, so I imagine you go to like try to figure out where they're heading back from.
Yeah, I try to follow the path that they would be heading back from to get to them as fast as possible, and
Okay.
I'll be kind of like sniffing the air for them, doing that kind of thing.
Right. You can make a athletics check with advantage since man is helping you here.
All right. Oh, thank God I'm proficient, because it would be negative otherwise. Man, I can't use Dex. What a shame. Dun, dun, dun. Not bad though. You take those.
Yeah, 21 is not bad at all. Yeah, so you do find them in a fairly timely manner. They're not rushing back, so you have to sort of make your way through that.
Yeah.
But you do find them along the road.
Yeah, as soon as I hit them along the road, I immediately like share the info of the letter. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what this means. Matafusa handed me this, and he even said he doesn't really know where he got it from. But I want to get there fast before they are not there.
Well, let's go.
And wait, what did the letter? Oh wait, I can read the letter again. It said all of us, right? Just like our whole team.
Yeah, it said the
Only
leaf
leaf
emissaries.
Okay, yeah,
The
then
leaf
all of us.
emissaries.
Yeah, then all of us would, I presume, then sprint to the temple.
Okay. Wait, that's Than and Arata. Did I leave you guys on the? Oh yeah, you guys are already there. There you go. You're on the bottom.
Hovers.
Excuse me. So I guess we kind of. I don't know what to do here. Okay. Let me read this. Information about the spirits. I don't trust the mystery. For their arrival, if I'm satisfied they came alone, I will reveal myself. If I suspect a trap, I will disappear. What is down south of us? Or is that where we came from?
Yeah, that's where the entrance to the temple is.
Okay, and then what is like left and right on these bridges?
It's basically like there's like this is all in kind of like a nature park area is the idea, and they're basically just like they go around, they sort of surround the temple here. It's like like a scenic walk, I guess.
Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think we either walk around like the path of the park to try to get to a more like a lone spot. Otherwise, I don't know.
I guess while we're looking around, we will go ahead and share information from both meetings.
Yeah, I would assume kind of while we're running, whatever we kind of giving the
yeah.
info.
Um,
Well, I'll say,
Listen,
did
if
you?
they're watching, I feel like we could just go to the center plaza here, hold up the letter, close, and then walk into like these woods or something, and I'm sure he'll meet us somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's
He's
valid.
always watching.
So where are you going?
So like right here, and we're just kind of like holding up like a white piece of paper, or like the letter or whatever, without it being shown, but just to prove that we're there since he's always looking, I imagine. And then
All
just going off to like the edge of like the corner here, and then
Yeah,
waiting
trying
for
to
some
get a little
sort of
more
interaction.
alone.
As you do that, well, I suppose everyone's there with you.
Yeah.
So you guys can all make perception checks.
Is this smelling or
This is
hearing?
sight.
AO
That's,
26.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, it was gonna be your time, you know.
We have
So-
had a lot of nat 20s.
Suiko, well, you don't need to roll.
Oh.
It's fine. Suiko got it.
I'll get
Uh,
another 20. Nope, never mind.
Wasting your.
Dude, why
No,
are
I'm not
all
wasting anything, bro.
bro
Getting
all
my
of my
fives out of the way.
all of my high rolls are on not combat
Yes,
sections, and it
nice.
pisses me off.
Suiko, you see like a old hand. I mean, you have Hawkeye vision apparently from that distance.
She has
But,
the highest perception of all of us. I know.
Holding up just like a little candle right outside of like the edge of the gateway entrance to like the main shrine area.
Oh, me.
Clearly meant as a signal. It like you see it and then it just sort of like he retrieves it back out of you.
Okay.
I mean, we all send it, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
All right. He kind of stays in the shadow, but as you approach, he does not flee.
Jesus Christ.
He is he's an older fellow. He is kind of wearing rags. He's clearly not very well put together. He hasn't shaved. His hair is overgrown. We will change the music. He sort of looks you all over, and he says, awfully young. What are your ranks? Are you Jonin, Chunin, Genin?
Well,
Still.
we two tuning and a getting.
Well, if you're the ones they sent after the sparrows, maybe you should return back to your people and bring more forces.
We're tougher than we look, I promise.
We've gone toe to toe with them. Don't worry.
We have fought them multiple times.
He has a far off look in his eye. He says, if you say so, I've seen many children die. I'd hate to see you the same way.
Jesus.
Nah. We got this. Fucking more of a guy.
He says, I have a story. It's my story. I used to be a ninja. Chunin, on my way to Jonin. I was placed on an outpost island, the furthest east island in the land of waves. They call it the Cold Orb Lighthouse. It was a relic from another time. That's where we were stationed, me and my troop. I had 3 Chunin under my command and 4 Genin. There was a town on this island. 2 children were killed in the night. We didn't know what did it. Their throats were slit. The mother, she blamed the 3rd child, the oldest child of the group. She said that he went to the caves to practice unnatural ninjutsu. Understand, I'm telling you these as I know them. I don't know the truth of them. You can take from my words what you will, but I knew that someone needed to know what happened. It might save you. I don't know. I can only hope. There was a mob. They were roused up by the mother before me and my troop arrived, and they chased the child out of the town. They didn't follow him into the caves. The caves were off limits. The caves were dangerous. There had been incidents there before, people slipping, falling, dying inside. It had been closed off since before my time, before my tenure. Me and my troop, I sent the Genin back, and myself and the Chunin proceeded. There was a collapsed floor in one of the caves. We sent a rope down deep, deep into the earth. There was gold architecture, some old ruin. Don't know what civilization left it. Don't care to. What I do remember is, as we descended, scratched into the gold of the walls, was a single name, Chikami. It means blood god, I learned later. Once we were at the bottom, there was this deep breath. It kept inhaling more and more. Our lights flickered. There was this aura. I felt my blood go cold. And I tripped backwards. I stepped back. I slid down, and I was covered in this fluid. I got out, and it was all red. It was all blood. My torch was gone, but I saw the shadows on the walls above. My fellow squad mates didn't know that I had fallen. The shadows danced, and I heard my teammates cry. It was over quickly. The cries went silent. This great bone skull, it wasn't human, it was something else. It peeked over the ledge. It looked down. I don't know if it saw me, I don't know if it cared, but it creeped back from the ledge. I couldn't move. I waited in the pool for hours, I don't know how long. When I emerged, it was nighttime. I went to the village, and it was only death there. I don't know of any other survivors, aside from myself. The Genin, they attempted to fight. I saw kunai, shuriken thrown, but whatever it was far too much for them. The Cold Orb lighthouse, it lit up for the first time that I'd ever seen. This was supposed to be a relic from a long gone time. Its artifacts long since deactivated and unrecoverable. It lit up, though. The clouds, they disappeared, they parted, and this great beam of light, it came down at the lighthouse. I went there, but I saw nothing. I don't know where the creature went, what happened with the light. All I know is I was the only survivor. I reported my story to the Mizukage, and I was declared medically insane. My headband was stripped from me. I've been living in the streets ever since. He looks at you, he says, that same feeling, that sense of dread, it returned. About 3 weeks ago, I felt it again, right when the Mizukage disappeared. I knew that it was connected. I've heard of these sparrows. They come from another land, right? They come from another place. That's what the rumors say.
That's what
This
we're told.
Creature, they must have summoned it. It must have returned with them. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I knew someone had to know, and none of the mist would listen to me.
And with the little that you saw this blood demon thing, what did it look like?
Like I said, it was huge. It was not a human skull. It had flesh beneath it, pulsing. I don't know. If the demons of our storybooks were real, that's what it looked like.
Okay. And
Well-
how? Good.
I'm just like trying to affirm to him that like I believe you. You're not crazy.
Yeah, we have experienced some not so natural things as of late.
I'm glad you take me seriously. I never doubted my sanity, though. You too many bodies for that.
Fair enough.
Well, when it came to this demon thing, I mean, when it comes to handling it, did you find anything that worked against it at all, or is it just a run-on-site situation?
I don't know. I saw the shadows dance. I assume my squad fought against it. I don't know if what they did hurt it or if it wasn't enough. I don't know. What I would say is, I think the Mizukage believed me, but he declared me insane anyway and stripped my headband from me.
Yeah, I mean, if he were to try to keep face, that would make sense. Well, shit.
I feel like the Mizukage made a deal with this blood god at some point.
Yeah, and
Offer something more, perhaps, if you're willing.
say that again.
I can offer something more, perhaps, if you're willing.
Sure.
I mean, yeah.
In the blood, what I fell into. It was irony, but there was another taste to it. I can't say that I've tasted blood. It's not a specialty of mine, but I've bitten my lip before and I know what it tastes like.
Hmm.
This
Yeah.
tasted different. I could perform a genjutsu that would let you taste the same thing I tasted, at least as I remember it.
Sure. I feel like one of us shouldn't be under this.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, if y'all want, y'all can go ahead.
Whatever.
I will kind of sit here with Than. Just kind of.
I would be one since I have the most cursed experience. Maybe it tastes like something I would know.
I mean,
But I would, but
let you know, this will be a perception check.
okay.
I will do it. I will take that
I'll be the
genjutsu.
one that, surprisingly, weirdly enough, doesn't want to do it anymore.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and I kind of look at him and I'm like, well, I do think this could be valuable information. I'm willing to take this. We'll have some one of my friends here kind of sit out of it.
He says, all right. And he performs a few hand signs and he just looks at you. And he breathes as this sort of misty air surrounds you. Yeah, I assume you're allowing this to succeed. You're not going to roll a
Yes,
save.
yeah, I'm not rolling a save for the Genjutsu.
Okay. You can make a perception check.
And this is taste.
This is taste, yeah.
Fuck off.
Ayo, my turn.
Every time it matters. Every time it matters. It's so frustrating.
You just got to trick yourself. You have to think like, oh, this doesn't matter. Whatever, I can roll low on this. Yeah. So it tastes like blood to you. You do get the sense that it does taste different, but you don't know
I have no
what the
idea.
difference is.
Yeah.
Right.
I was gonna say I think Suiko was gonna do it, but that's about all we got.
I can go after Suiko.
No. Wait.
Well, I'm not
You
saying
said
you don't
can't.
got it. I'm just saying I will go after you.
All right,
Okay.
Suiko, where are you going to?
Yep. Do it.
He performs the genjutsu again. You're choosing to fail.
Yeah.
No.
You're
I was not choosing the fail.
the save.
I was
you're
not
allowing the
choosing the fail. I
genjutsu
won't.
to take
I'm
effect.
sorry, you cut out one more time.
You're allowing the genjutsu to take effect, right?
Yes, I was.
Okay, all right. That's what I was asking about with the fail. Okay. So Suiko, no, you don't recognize the difference. However, the being within you rumbles. It says, "That's my blood."
Ooh.
Oh. No.
Oh.
Suiko's face just like gets extremely pale, and she looks a little sick.
He looks confused. He says, "Do you recognize it? What? Do you know what it is?"
Well, Suiko's too shocked.
He says,
I have theories.
please tell me what it is. It's been bothering me for years."
Well, I mean, I may, from previous travel experiences, recognize it, don't ask why. May possibly be the blood of a dragon.
His eyes widen. He says, I'd heard of the fire dragon that attacked your village. It was an older one of its kind, I suppose. One who died there or was drained of blood. It was a large pool. It was a large pool.
Right.
He looks like lost in his memories right now, like just sort of muttering to himself,
Yeah.
absorbing this somewhat shocking information.
Oh.
Suiko's panicked.
Okay.
That's funny. I totally thought that Arata would figure out what you would get the information, but it wouldn't be useful. But no, Suiko
Yeah.
just did it. There you go.
I guess after hearing this, I look at Suiko. I'm like, okay, we need to go check on some stuff with this information. And I turn back to Gotara, and Suiko's dead. And I look at Gotara, and I'm just like, well, this has genuinely been helpful. Do you have anything else that like connects all of this to the sparrows for sure, or is it just the fact that it kind of the feeling showed up at the same time?
Showed up at the same time. That's all the information I have.
All right. Well,
you can make an insight check if you want.
All right, I suppose so. I mean, to be honest, I didn't think he was lying, but
okay. Yeah, he's definitely
Another 16.
all right.
I
I do have +8 insight because my wisdom is
God.
+3, and I'm whatever the word is, proficient in insight.
Okay.
I'm proficient in a lot of wisdom stuff.
You should use that more. I feel like that'd be very useful, but okay.
I use perception all the time. What do you mean?
No, insight.
Oh, insight.
I think there's so many times where you're like not sure if they're telling the truth, but you don't ask for an insight check.
I didn't know that
Anyway.
was a thing I could really do, but you know,
Yeah.
the more you know.
Yeah, so he's definitely holding something back, and it's something
Uh,
important too, or at least he thinks it's important.
I don't. This guy's been so helpful. I kind of look at him. I am not pressuring him in any kind of like physical way, or like, you know, like trying to threaten or anything like that. But I make it clear that like I can tell he's lying to me. I'm just like, are you sure there's nothing else you want to tell us? I'm trying to, I guess, to like kind of describe what I'm trying to coax it out of him in like a friendly way, in the sense of being like, hey, like we trust you, and like we like, actually, okay, yeah, I would just say that. I like in the moment I'll be like, look, you have given us more info than we have gotten from any of the people here, seeing as everyone else here likes to lie to everybody, and I really need to be able to trust you here. Is there any other info that like you can give us? Because this could be vital to like the future of this land.
Yeah, that was pretty. All right, you can roll a persuasion check with advantage.
So I gotta figure out how to word it.
No, that was good. That was what he wanted to hear.
Fuck me. Dude,
Oh
I
my
don't even know
God.
what to try. Every time it's important, bro, I'm literally gonna scream. It's fine.
He says, he clearly, like, he kind of realizes that you are onto him. He says, I know what happened back then was real, but what happened more recently, I don't know. It might have just been me seeing what I wanted to see, what my mind wanted me to see. I don't want to waste your time.
No. Trust me, you are. This is the opposite of wasting our time right now. This is.
You're the only helpful person we have talked to this
Yeah,
entire time.
I trust
Please.
nearly no one here, except for you at this point. If something happened to you recently, that would be super valuable.
I guess I'll give you the information, but just please don't waste your time with this. It's almost certainly just me going
Okay,
a little crazy.
we'll keep that in mind. Excuse me.
I thought I saw him again. That child. He was, I mean, this must be 14 or 15. The oldest child. I'd only seen him a few times in the village. I mean, I knew him, but not well. Just saw him around. I thought I saw him the other day. It was maybe 4 days ago. He was just, I saw him walking through the streets. But
And what
that's
is-
impossible.
What does he look like?
Well, he had these 2 scars. He'd had them since a young age, across his head, across his face. He has this fairly silvery, grayish hair. I don't know. He was just a boy. He was just a teenager.
And
Not
did
much
he,
younger than you.
when you saw him, was he still that age, or did he look like an older version of himself?
Oh, no, he looked to be that age. Like I said,
Okay.
I'm almost certainly. This was after I had felt the aura, you understand. All those
Gotcha.
memories were dredged up again.
Gotcha.
My mind was just. It would have taken any, a child that looked anything like him.
Yes.
You know.
Understandable. And then where
But he looked at me. I swear he looked at me.
gotcha. We will keep that noted with an asterisk.
Did
Where
he didn't do or say anything?
No. But in his eyes, I knew he knew who I was. He shakes his head. I don't know. It's my mind playing tricks. You have the information, the old story. That's what I believe.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, where did this old story take place? Like, where is this cave?
Said it's on the easternmost isle of the land of waves. It's the farthest to the east, the furthest into the great ocean. It's been long abandoned. The Mizukage band all travel there.
Right. And let's say people were to try to travel there. How would they go about that?
Boat. It's not a difficult route. It's just no one would dare defy the Mizukage, and no one would have reason to. No one else knows what happened there.
Makes sense. Well, Gotara, I genuinely appreciate this a lot, and I'm sure this was not easy for you, especially kind of reliving this by retelling it, and we will not forget this. This was very helpful.
He says, I failed. I was a coward then. I couldn't let that happen again.
Well,
I feel like you have redeemed yourself.
He nods and says, I appreciate that. Don't let me keep you unless you have any other questions. I'll stick around here for a bit, but I'm going to leave tonight, I think. So if you have any questions for me, return and ask me before I head out.
Okay.
sounds good. Will do. I suppose we kind of walk off,
And
not
walk off
awkwardly.
and-
Yeah.
Would you guys like to go next?
Okay. Summarize everything. Right. We have the mission to kind of backstab Hoshigaki guy.
Yeah.
Then we have the thing to get Shino to go to the duel. Fairly simple.
That we will do when we talk to her for sure.
Yeah. The other thing is that I want to see if there's Genjutsu at the estate, like some seal with Genjutsu. Excuse me.
Like just kind of check.
Yeah, I want to see if there's like a pill, like if we can buy a Genjutsu pill, and then one of us sees the apparition, and then one of us doesn't. Like the one that has the Genjutsu pill doesn't. Just to see if it is like
Yeah, if it's there or not. It
if
makes
it's like a
sense.
seal they put there, and then like the place does not look like that at all, and the ghosts are trying to scare us.
Yeah, that makes sense actually.
Because if there's so many people saying that there's not ghosts, I'm inclined to believe them.
Let me see. Do we know of a store in the land? Like, I'm assuming somewhere in the village.
I mean, there are stores around, but not so much for ninja supplies. All the weapons and things of that nature are being hoarded right now, in preparation.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you could always ask Jinna to see if she can hook you up, but
Yeah, even because we could even do a chili pepper bomb, which I'd imagine is like pretty cheap to make, which can let us resist a Genjutsu if there's one there, or help us resist it rather. Okay, cool. So do we want to go talk to Sheena first, at least to ask her about going to see the duel, and then do we want to mention to her going to that abandoned island? Or do we just want to try to get there on our own?
Sheena has been pretty good, and I read up on the map, but I don't necessarily want to go on a boat with no experience on
Okay.
how to get to an island.
We'll ask Sheena about the island. We won't mention Gotara, obviously, but
Yeah.
we will be like, hey, we know that there was like some ghost stuff like rumored to have happened here. You know, we would like to check it out since we have, been encountering apparitions. Okay, cool. So I suppose we're going to Sheena first.
So you guys begin, you exit the temple and begin traveling east towards the Seashell Council. It's not terribly far. It's probably like about a mile and a half or so. So it is a bit of a walk. As you leave the temple, however, well, a few things happen. First, Suiko, the dragon within you cries out and falls silent. You feel it bury itself deep within your seal. You cannot communicate with it. And as Suiko sort of hunches over with the sudden pain of the loss of her companion, or at least the temporary loss of her companion, you all hear shouting back where you came from, back near the temple.
God damn it.
What would you like to do?
And so is she like physically able to do anything, or is she like?
She's fine. I mean, it was more just the shock of it.
Okay.
But she's fine after a few moments.
Shit.
At least physically.
Are we all going back to the temple?
Yeah.
All right. I suppose hearing this, we all run back to the temple.
Okay.
I mean, Izuto, are you?
You guys head back to the temple.
Oh,
Dude,
God.
what the hell?
You see bloodstains. You see trails of corpses leading up to the summit, where you see Gotara and a guy. And Gotara is just suspended in the air about like 5 feet up. His limbs splayed, and you see that they're talking. You're not sure about what.
Yeah, I'm assuming we just sprint up as fast as possible.
Yeah.
And on that note, we will pick up next week.
I was gonna say activate dust cutter when friction shatter before it starts.
Yeah, I would be.
I activate my things.
Yeah, I would be pouring poison
All
on my
the
blade.
things. All the things.
Oh, by the way, was Waraji the shoes? Was that one of the shoes at the place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, but we decided that he
those were
he
the
didn't have
Mizukage
new
shoes.
shoes. Okay. That's right.
Great. Good stuff, guys. I hope you're enjoying the Land of Mist arc, the horror arc of the show.
I genuinely am. I also, just because of the way D&D is, I find the idea of us just going, I'm not worrying about that scream, and just like walking the other direction being so funny.
No, you know what? No, not today.
I'm done with screams. I'm done with it. I'm not doing it today. Whoever's screaming, that's a them problem.
No, there was a bunch of joning there.
They'll figure it out.
Oh, dude, tower joning. Not you, too.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait, yeah, where's...
there is.
No! I wanted to kill him.
Oh, and the poor girl. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, wait, does this mean the asshole died? Yeah, guess he died. Positive,
Yeah.
huh? Everybody? Positives?
Silver linings.
Yeah, it only took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 other people to die. So 9, more than likely 9.
Hey, society has to make sacrifices to move forward, okay?
Oh.
Sacrifice the right
I
to make.
love you as an investigator. You're like, dude, if that serial killer could kill one more person, I think he fucks up on the next one. And then you say that 9 more times, and you're like, ah, fucked up on the 10th guy.
Yeah, it's like, no, we get him on the next one. Ah, dang. Well, 'twas fun.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next week.